Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Yes, Clobberonimo indeed. And they also...
Whee! And also, Clobberonimo!
Both. I love how you say that. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, everybody, to Clobberin Times number 526 on YouTube, 1,226 overall over the past almost 14 years. And, of course, Saturday night Star Trek 107, reviewing DS9. We're just endless numbers going on here tonight. We're numbers. We're just a bunch of numberers, clobberers and numberers. But welcome, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberuskis, clobberettes, all of you. All of you. It's so great to see you here tonight, my friends. And I can't wait to get started because I'm here with the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. Welcome, wonderful Commander R.M. Briggs.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know what to say. Like, here we are in our second year, and I feel just as excited as I did when we first started this journey together. I love you. You're like one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. And these Saturdays are like the best part of my week. I just want to say hail to the chat. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am so looking forward to our conversations about these episodes and our conversations about Star Trek in general. I'd like to shout out my Patreon subs. Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Larry, Tony Stark, Chris Persia, Scuba Pete, Eric K, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, and Jill. I would also like to say hello to the Wrenches. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening to facilitate this wonderful, wonderful show with my favorite captain in the whole wide world. And I would also like a special request. Could everyone please put a cheese emoji in the chat and send it to my little baby Kirby and my little baby Lancelot? So Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth have a brand new pupperoni. He's a beagle. He's very cute. His name is Lancelot. We're going to call him Lance. And if that's okay with the Thoths. And then we also have baby Kirby, and I think he's
Kirby
a golden
and Lancelot.
retriever.
Right there's yeah, I got him backwards.
They need
I
cheese.
believe that's Lancelot, and there's Kirby.
They need cheese. These babies need cheese.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to be quiet and let the boss take over and get the show started. Hello, everyone.
No, it's just so great to see you. So great to see you all here tonight with us. Love those puppy dogs, my friends. Wow. So lucky. I wish I could have a puppy dog. I wish I could have a puppy dog. Let's see here. Show notes. Of course, obviously, for those who do not know, our great engineers on Mark D with a C is not here with us tonight. He is on a road trip or an away mission, as it were. So he won't be here. So that means there'll be no geekery on Sunday night tomorrow night, but it'll be back the following week, I'm sure. So, but my only real show note I got for you right now is Monday night, since it is Superman month on Clobbering Times, it'll be the big Superman birthday celebration.
Dun, 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 dun.
That too. His birthday is on the 29th, of course, but there is no 29th. So we'll do our best to celebrate it on the 27th on Monday night. And of course, I'll be on all the usual places from Midnight's Edge After Dark on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Wednesday nights with Loki and the gang, Tuesday nights, Friday nights with Nick and the Comic Shop gang, and of course, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays and Mondays always here on Clobbering Times, bringing you the clobbering of entertainment. So let us get on with our shout-outs, shall we? And then we will get down to beeswax.
Bees, buzz, 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 wax.
Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Of course, our fantastic wrenches who are here almost every night that I'm on, when they can, and just the unsung heroes here, and just appreciate what they do. The great Eric K. the Bronze Wrencher.
And Kirby. Eric and Kirby,
and
welcome.
His
We
puppy
love
dog.
you.
Indeed. Chris Persia, the Vindicator of the North.
Thank you for the beautiful show poster tonight. Outstanding work as usual. Love you, sweetheart.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for all you do. The great D. Bud Martin. And it was a lot of fun hanging out with you on Nick's Comic Shop show panel last night. We were all glad to have you there, buddy. And can't wait in 2 weeks when we do our part 2 of our Rocketeer coverage, comic book coverage. Looking forward to that.
We also have an opportunity to feature what D. Bud Martin does in real life this evening, because I have some questions about the validity of the dialogue. And if you know the great D. Bud Martin, you know what I'm referring to, because D. Bud Martin is a mathematician. And so I'm going to ask him a little bit later about some of the gobbledygook and find out if it's actually viable. So stay tuned for the sleigh that is coming from the mathematician we all know and love as D. Bud Martin.
Well, yeah, there we go. And where were I? Oh, the great LT, Lord Thoth, and the shout out, of course, to the lovely Lady Thoth, my good friend. Good to see you here.
And Lancelot.
Yes, and Lancelot, of course, the puppy dog. Avon lives and long live the Legion, my friend. My partner in crime on Earth B. We'll have another Earth B show coming soon in March. The great Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. Good to see you, brother.
His real name is actually Jason. You need to follow him on Twitter. And the reason why I'm telling you his real first name is because he's an author. So you need to get your cute little bums on over to his Twitter. Follow him, then follow his links to his Amazon page, where you can get a hold of his wife's beautiful poetry. She's an award-winning poet, and you can get your hot little hands on some scary, scary tales told by the great J-Man.
Yes, indeed he is this. Then we have the master of the club only, Hungry Boy.
Hey, HB!
Artist Supreme.
Yes, beautiful cover.
Yes, indeed. The beautiful cover of the Science Fiction Tales by my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs.
Love you.
Yes, indeed. The super rich himself, Kal-El, buddy.
The real soap.
Good
The
to see
real
ya.
soap.
And of course, wielder of French Mjolnir, Maddie's daddy, Thor Vegas. And that rascal himself, Fancy Outside. Fanty-ish indeedy-ishness.
Fanty-ish indeedy.
That's his new name.
This is good. This is good. Hey, Thor in Vegas. I have not sent smooches to Maddie in a long time. Can you please smooch her whole beautiful face for Clobby and I? She is such a beautiful, exquisite, lovely little girl, and we send our love to her.
Well, let's get our let's go try to knock out these shout outs so we can get down to beeswax here. For those who do not know, if you're new joining us, because I see a new friend that I met. Hello, Jerry. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Jerry Ihane. So do you say that? Jerry Ihane. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly, but we met over at PJ's, my good buddy PJ at Oriole Nation.
Nice
chat earlier. Jerry was used to work on, I think, on DS9 as a ghostwriter, was telling me. So that's interesting.
Oh, very good, very good.
So well, anyway, Jerry, welcome to Clobberin Times. What we do here is, before we get to the episodes, we're very interactive with our audience. We all review the show together, and that's a lot of us. And we'd like to shout everyone out first. So what we're going to do is start on with that now. Again, everyone, the great Mark D with the C will not be here with us tonight, but he's here with us in spirit, of course. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I try to get them all written down, but if I miss any, one shout out. Here we go. Dave G Sound, what's up, buddy?
Dave G Sound.
Sean Carter of Mars.
Sean Carter from Mars.
Indeed. Sandra Feliciano and Raymond Feliciano of
King Dolphin TV.
In color. Okay. Where are we at? Classic Comics. What's up, CC?
CC is in the house.
Dadman's walking, and where Dadman is, the Dadman clan cannot be far behind. Hey there, Dadman. Good to see you there, buddy. Brian Hepburn. Hello there, my friend.
Evening, Brian.
Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. The Comic Relief Crusader. And I do believe happy birthday wishes are in order for you at Comic Relief Crusader.
Ooh.
Good to thank you so much. Oh, D-Bud says has a report here. Shooter Shooter at the member for 6 months, Clobberin level. I never know what to use a member chat for. Use it for anything you want to, buddy.
That's right.
We try to, you name it. I hear you though. I understand what you mean.
You're in charge of that, D-Bud Martin. We just love you. We trust you. You just do whatever you want to do with that.
That was that's what Shooter was saying though. He doesn't know what to use one for. But anyway, you want.
Okay. Sorry, I got that mixed up.
No problem. And by the way, before I continue, shout out to everyone who is out there lurking. We really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. More than I can ever express, and I don't express it enough. I want to thank you for being out there tonight. And anyone watching on a rewatch or a download, whatever you want to call it, it is much appreciated. We cannot thank you enough. And anytime, you don't have to, but if you ever, please comment if you are out there. We'd like to know who's out there, even if they're on a rewatch. So,
well, I know that there's a wonderful Irishman by the name of Eric O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan.
So I say hello to my Irish brother, Eric. He will be tuning in. He is a chef and has to wake up very early in the morning. I also want to say hello to
Yes.
And I also want to say hi to Michael. I don't know if Michael's here or not. It's really difficult for him to stay awake. He lives across the pond. Yes, Michael Carney.
Okay, well, Michael Carney, shout out to you if you're watching this later.
Yes, and he regularly leaves messages to us saying, "Sorry guys, I couldn't stay up."
Now, Michael, if you're out there, buddy, we appreciate you.
Yep,
we understand.
And should I just do it for the Comic Relief Crusader and just do it very quickly? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear CRC. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Like she said.
Dun dun dun. You look like a no, forget it.
I'll tell him what he looks like later when we're He knows what he looks like, that rascal.
That rascal.
Mr. Angel.
Chef, our chef in Australia.
Hey, Chef. Good to see you. Pleasant Valley Picker.
PvP.
Cal-El. I already got you. I shouted you out because you're the super wrench. Sorry, but I saw the name there. Good to see. Thank you, buddy. The great, our magnificent friend, the enigmatic drop. Hey, buddy.
ED. If you don't know ED, you're in for a real treat. Such amazing conversations, such amazing reviews. Stay tuned to Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Indeedishness. Shooter's here. Hey, Shooter.
Pew, 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 pew.
Good to see you there, buddy. Wolfie's here also. Oh, our lovely friend Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Lisa! Did you see what Lisa was eating this evening?
No.
That woman could
No.
cook. Filet mignon.
Oh, my.
Lobster tails, prawns. I mean, we needed to do the 735 Club at Lisa's house tonight.
We did.
Oh, Mr. Angel is in the Netherlands, not in Australia. Sorry, Chef.
Sorry, we othered your location. Sorry. The great Rod Thunderheart. What's up, brother?
Hello, Rod. Rod, Alberta. Welcome, Rod.
Simply Steve. And what's up, dude?
Hello, Simply Steve. I'm trying to read the chat and welcome everyone at the same time. I really suck at it.
Bandit. Bandit MDLL. I can't.
Hello.
Well, Bandit, just good to see you. Thank you for being here. The great Michael Beacom, and shout out to you and the wonderful Cassandra.
Hello, Beacom.
Good to see you.
Boss, you have a gift in the chat.
I see it. I'm on it. Thank you. Be right there. In fact, I'll just do it. We'll say our hello to him while we get it. Also, the great Herc 130. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for that kind super chat. I appreciate you. He says, my battle cry is
Hooby Looby.
Hooby
Hooby Dooby.
That was from R&B. Hooby
Looby. It's his battle cry is First Contact. And it's so much fun. I always say, bring on the tequila, Herc. Let's get it done. So good evening to Herc. So good to see you. And I send a very enthusiastic Hooby Looby right back to you, sir.
To you, sir. Let's see here. Rob, the great Rob Altus. Good to see you there, my friend.
Rob.
Also, Herc. I already got him. And
we got him.
Again, shout out to our new friend Jerry. Jerry,
hey,
I'm not sure if is it Ihane. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly,
Lahane.
Jerry. Is it Lahane? It looks like looks like an I from here. Maybe it's Lahane. I'm sorry. My screen is far away from me. I'm blind as it is.
There's some semiotic messaging going on here. Whenever somebody chooses all lowercase, it's usually because they're a very humble person.
Okay,
so Jerry seems to be very fond of all lowercase letters. So Jerry Lahane.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Well, Jerry, yes. And by the way, Jerry, I'm very old and therefore blind. Sorry. Admiral Teague, what is up, buddy?
Admiral Teague.
Good to see you. And then they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of
Scuba Pete. And Leslie.
And Guagnor's here.
Gwagnar.
And the Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers, or I should say, and the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, but I won't do that.
Catman do.
And shout out to your wife, your lovely your lover, better half. And anyone else who pops in, of course, as we do, we will always note it and address them accordingly. But now we're going to get down to beeswax. And again, since we have new people here, and we always get new people in, we always like to go over that. What we do here, folks, is we are big fans of Star Trek: The Real Deal, and we don't mind telling you people can like anything they like, but right here we don't like what we call the filth. The filth is anything with the label of Star Trek on it after 2005, in my opinion, and it is just an opinion, but that's the way I feel about it. And so we have set out on a mission to review all 735, as determined by my first officer, segments of legit, real Star Trek, which means 1966 to 2005, right after Enterprise was gone, nothing else counts. And again, so 2 years ago to that end, we embarked upon this journey in January of 2021. Number one and myself. Hey, Max Redstone, the great.
Maximum limericks.
Maximum. Anyway, we embarked upon this journey in January of 2021 to review it all. And we started with the original series, then did the animated series, the original crew films, Star Trek The Next Generation. And now we are smack dab somewhere in the middle of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5. We do 4 episodes a night, unless we're at the end of a season or something like that. Other than that, yes, we do 4 each week on Saturday nights at this time. And I'll just lay it out for those who don't know. We're brutal. Look, we love Star Trek, but we've decided to be as impartial as we can. We love episodes. We dislike other ones. We rip them to pieces on a critical basis because we feel like this is a review. And yet, even if we hate an episode, even if we hate 3 episodes in a row, we still love Star Trek, and we're reviewing it from a place of love. And I really do like Deep Space Nine a lot. I am, full disclosure, an original series kind of guy, but I do love Deep Space Nine. But we don't love every episode. I'm just cushioning that so people who are, anytime someone new shows up and says, "Hey, they must hate this show." No, we'll beat up on an episode pretty bad sometimes, but we still love the show. If we think it needs to be criticized. And by the way,
celebrate the really
what we
good
do,
ones.
we celebrate it. And the thing is, after we get to talking about the episode, we turn it over to our chat and we let them, we read their reviews of the episode as well. And sometimes a lot of them don't like it either. And then someone comes along with a completely different opinion. All opinions are welcome here and appreciated here. And everyone gets their say. So I can think it's the worst episode in the world, but if you want to write and give it an A+ and think it's the best one, we love that. Unless of course it's that comic relief crusader guy. He has to agree with me or else.
He does.
Just kidding.
He does.
Hey,
Boss John Shaggy Rupus just walked through the door, and so did our good friend Retro Nerd Girl.
Retro Nerd Girl, lovely to see you, and hello there, John. It is so good to see you. So,
Reggie?
Reggie. Well done. There you go.
Sorry.
All right. So, yes, you got that's comic group. Hey, Zathras is here.
Crap.
What a great crowd we got it going on tonight. Okay, so let's get on with it. What we do here, folks, is we reference, even though we don't go completely from this, we do have a reference source that number one likes to call back to for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It is this book right here, Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. Now I'm going to turn over the helm to my wonderful first officer. She will explain how we source this book, and then we will get on to reviewing tonight's episodes. Take it away, number one.
Let's do it. So if you're joining us, like, this is a radio hour, an old-time radio hour, there's a beautiful image. It's a scanned image of a book called Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. It's written by Terry J. Erdman. He is the husband of the great Paula M. Block. Paula M. Block is a prolific Star Trek author. And as many of you know, I'm a communications and technology scholar with a degree in writing and editing. And I've vetted this text through Paula M. Block. Paula M. Block is a wonderful source for Star Trek material because Paula M. Block uses original source material. She does not go hither and yon and cites people. She goes directly to the producers, the directors, the actors, everyone involved, and she makes these wonderful books about Star Trek. Unfortunately, in this case, her husband is the primary author here, and she's only writing second chair. And because of that, he goes on and on and on. And because his reviews of each episode are like 15, 16, 17 pages, it's really not conducive to the podcasting, if you will, environment. Right. All we need is a summary. We don't need to read, chapter and verse.
But for the book, it works.
Yeah, for the book, it works. And I'm going to take a break for a second here in my explanation because something very important walked through the door.
Jill.
Jill, our
Jilly.
communications officer. And it's really important. I want to encourage you all, as an academic and as a college teacher. I really want to encourage you to always look for that original source material stuff. I know many of you turn to IMDb and Memory Alpha and all of these other places to get your Star Trek information. And I need you to know that most of it is crap. It's not accurate, and it's unfortunate because, you know, Star Trek is filled with rumors and people embellish in their memoirs and people throw things out there that are facts and they're not facts. So if you're following Memory Alpha, which is polluted by the filth, if you're following MDB and you think it's a great trivia source, it's not. You know what a great trivia source is? Going straight to the original source material through a vetted text like Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion, featuring the wonderful and always reliable Paula M. Block. So instead of that, we will be using the summaries from Wikipedia because, you know, they're copyright compliant. But whenever we call a question, whenever there's a question of whether or not something is true or false, we turn to this text only. We don't turn to user-generated sources for information. And I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, you should also know, if you're new around here, this is an entirely organic broadcast. Clobby has been watching Star Trek for more than 45 years. So have I. We are both massive Star Trek fans. We do not discuss the episodes, the content of the episodes, what we're going to rate them. We do not discuss them beforehand. Everything that happens here is organic. It's by design. We meet like a room full of Trekkies and we all talk like a room full of Trekkies for reals. And that about sums up what we do around here. I think we can get started, boss.
There we go. And again, for those new, we don't, you can write up to anywhere to 4 or 5 little segments of your review once we ask for it, but don't send any review you may have until I give you the word for it, because it helps us that helps us keep things organized up in here. So our first episode of the evening would be The Ascent.
Yep. The Ascent is season 5, episode 9. You would know that in the text by its production code, or prod code, as we say around here. It's 507. We all watched this for the very first time on November 25th, 1996. Staying copyright compliant again as we go through the plot as written through the user-generated source that is wikipedia.org. The writing isn't always the best. I haven't practiced this. This is a cold read, otherwise known as an extemporaneous read, so it might get rough. We're going to do our best to get through it. Let's do it. Odo is escorting Quark to a grand jury hearing where Quark is to testify against the criminal Orion Syndicate. Halfway to their destination, they discover that a bomb was planted on the ship. An attempt to transport the bomb away results in an explosion that forces them to crash land on a frozen, barely habitable planet. That would be a Class L planet. That's not here, but I'm just saying it is. Their communication system is damaged, and they have very little food. They have no food. They only had 1 bag of rations and it's gone. They had 1 bag each. They are left facing a horrifying choice: starve to death or freeze to death, when Quark has an idea. He proposes that they haul their subspace transmitter, a heavy piece of equipment, up a nearby mountain where the atmosphere may be thin enough to send a signal for help. Sharing 1 set of cold weather gear between them, they make their way toward the mountain, bickering all the way. They are dismayed to realize that what looked like a hike of a few hours actually takes several days. They argue throughout the journey, even as they finally begin to climb the mountain. Words soon escalate into a shoving match, and they wind up sliding down the mountainside. Odo's leg is broken in the fall. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it broken. It's more like a compound fracture where the leg is almost twisted off of his body. Quark tries to drag Odo up the mountain, but it soon proves to be too much work for him. Odo insists that Quark leave him behind and continue alone to the top. But Quark, exhausted and hungry, is ready to give up. After Odo tries to take the transmitter himself, broken leg and all, Quark is shamed into resuming his attempt. But when night falls, Odo is still alone. Assuming that Quark failed to reach his goal and died, Odo assumes that he will die as well and begins recording a message intended for whoever finds his body. Suddenly, Odo and Quark are beamed to the starship Defiant. Quark did make it to the peak, and his distress signal was received. As they recuperate in the infirmary, the two reassure each other that they said they hated each other, they meant every word. That when they said they hated each other, they meant every word. Meanwhile, on Deep Space Nine, Nog returns from Starfleet Academy for his field study. He moves in with Jake Sisko, but the two come into conflict as roommates. Nog's strictly disciplined lifestyle as a cadet conflicts with Jake's more relaxed attitudes towards life, cleanliness, and exercise. They eventually reconcile thanks to the efforts of their fathers, Benjamin Sisko and Rom. And that is all the collective internet has to say about The Ascent, Season 5, Episode 9. And now I'm going to turn it over to the captain. Captain, my captain, mon capitaine, please tell me, what did you think of The Ascent?
Well, first, shout out Blunt Philly Reviews. Welcome. Good to see you. Glad to have you here.
Hello.
Always good to have you here. We talk about this seemingly we have to talk about this every week. The show's, it's schizophrenic sometimes. Sometimes it's not really all that much science fiction as it is drama, which is not that always a bad thing. This is decent character drama. It's an okay, fairly entertaining, straightforward, entertaining episode. How many times have we seen the crash landing, enemy mine types plot throughout other Star Treks, this and other ones? So no new ground here whatsoever. It's burdened, I think, a little bit by having an A and B story, but maybe that helps because you didn't have otherwise you'd have to do a lot more with the Quark Go story. So maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing to have the B plot, but I didn't really get all that enthralled with it either. The Nog Jake stuff never did anything for me personally. Yeah. I don't hate their characters. I just don't really care about them that much. Sometimes they're okay, but go ahead.
Well, no, I just wanted to echo and amplify your statement there. Within socio-historical context, we felt pretty jarred by this idea in 1996 that we would be featuring children, especially given the letter penned by D.C. Fontana and Gene Roddenberry to the studio. I have a copy of that actual letter signed by both of them, written and signed by both of them, where they insisted vigorously that Star Trek is not for children. So I see where you're coming from there. It's not that you dislike the children. It's just it's an odd choice for a franchise that isn't supposed to have that. So anyway, I beg your pardon for interrupting. Please continue.
No. And again, they're getting to be young adults now. I mean, this show is a drama. It is a family drama in some ways, so that's fine. But I do find it an entertaining episode. Primarily on the strength of the Odo and Quark episodes are almost irresistible, especially when you get them two isolated like this, because of the terrific actors they are and the great characters they are. So it's the entertaining stuff between Odo and Quark make this a very comfortable and good watch. I really enjoyed it for that stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, let's go your notes.
Okay, so if you're new around here, I do notes, and that is because I have been rewatching Star Trek beginning on January 1st, all through every iteration, all 735, as they have become available, and it has been possible. So I thought to myself, how could I add a little bit of something to this broadcast? And so I take notes. So while I'm watching the episodes, I use my many, many years as a Star Trek fan, and I take notes about things that I know to be true or just things that I feel about the episode with an actual pencil and an actual piece of paper. And so when the boss calls for notes, that's what this is, folks. The Siskos deal with the empty nest scenario. If you are middle-aged or older and you had children, you have likely dealt with the empty nest scenario. If you're quite close with your children, it is a horrible time in your life. You just crave the attention and the company of your adult children whom you care very deeply for. And so we see Ben in the throes of this, monumental time. Ram is another anxious father dealing with a newly minted adult child, and so we see these two stories working together, and they're quite nice because it's this realization that Ram is a single father and that Ben is a single father. And unlike many things that you see on television these days, especially with the filth and all of the crap you see on TV, seldom do we see this idea of the loving father who is an outstanding single parent. And these storylines, as everyone who knows me and certainly knows me well or has been listening for the last few years knows that these storylines are very popular with me. They're a huge hit with me. I think it's incredible when you talk about cultural reformation or cultural enlightenment and using your text for good in a sociological way. No finer example is this idea of this loving father who is an outstanding single parent. I eat this stuff up. I absolutely love it. I think it's wonderful for people to see, and I think it's a wonderful example. It's an aspiration, and TV should be aspirational, I think, at least in some sense. Odo and Quark exchanges are always fun, but not for a prolonged period. I do love the part about Odo reading romance novels. I'll never forget when I first watched that on November 25th, 1996. And I was thinking to myself, my goodness, isn't it wonderful that he's so romantic that he reads these novels and he relishes in these novels. Kids learning to be adults is an annoying storyline for Star Trek. This is ideally a science fiction show, although DS9 is a drama. I love that Nog fixed the prose. As someone who teaches spelling and grammar and writing, I have to say that I really love the way that Nog goes off and he's very annoyed about how poorly the prose has been constructed. The fact that a distress beacon didn't start immediately with a runabout is weird for such an advanced technology. A crashed car can be found with our level of technology. So once again, we're seeing this fault in this idea of having a show author who writes drama more than science fiction. Obviously, a science fiction author gravitates towards research and adding those elements of technological advancements, the fact that we might not be alone in the universe, adding those science fiction elements. So that's a little bit problematic. I do like that Nog has embraced his military training and his military lifestyle. So we see going back to this ideal in TOS, where the military is not something that is this horrible, horrendous beast, but more an altruistic organization that is trying to move man forward. So I really love that Nog, a character that I don't enjoy, has embraced his military training and his military lifestyle. I think it's cute. It's quite adorable. And of course, I really like it. It's very TOS. Quark says a Christian proverb. I've talked about this quite a lot on the show. I'm going to say it again. It is incredibly wasteful and very naive, like sort of Bush League, very new writer, to go ahead and start incorporating these proverbs and doing it on a regular basis. Not only is it a mistake that should be caught by people who are creating the show, this is a team of authors and a team of producers. It should be vetted out by the editors, but it has a second element to it that I find quite annoying, and that is this lost opportunity. If you're going to say waste not, want not, which is, of course, this biblical idea from the 1500s, this Christian proverb of willful waste makes woeful want, why not, transfer the prose in a way in which you could turn it into a Ferengi proverb, and then you make the story lush. You are creating you're making your world building. You're making it better, and so I think that's a huge mistake. You don't say waste not, want not. Make a Ferengi proverb. it's very obvious that that Quark is not Christian, and Odo would not be able to endure this leg injury so well. It is a catastrophic leg injury. I know we have a lot of nurses in the 735 Club. We have a trauma nurse and I believe a trauma surgeon in the 735 Club, and I believe they are present this evening. And that would be a very, very scary injury where one could even, die, I believe, of something like shock. I mean, his leg is completely twisted off of his body, so quite scary. And that's all I have in my notes.
Boosh McFadden, hey there.
Boosh!
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, it is a definitely benign, though mostly enjoyable episode. I do agree with some of that stuff about, especially, again, I think you needed a B story. This is one of those where it's at least served well. You couldn't have the whole episode just be Quark and Odo, so it worked okay. It's fairly entertaining episode, if as far as character, a fairly good character, study episode. I do think that the ship, they couldn't have come up with a better way for the ship to be, stranded the way it was. Why wouldn't I don't know. Why wouldn't they be able to find him? Who knows?
Well, that's the thing, right? And there seems to be this very corporate idea where these corporations are now doing most of our storytelling for us. So the corporate ethos is to tell the public that if they find a fault in something, that it's the public's fault. It's your fault as a listener. It's your fault as a viewer. And it's not. When you're an author, you can create any world you want. And if somebody is reading what you've written or created, and they find themselves questioning the validity or the storytelling universe, the imagination universe, the imagination station you've created, then the fault is in the author, not in the audience. And so I love what you say. I love it when you say stuff like that, and you need to continue to say that.
Well, so basically, what do we have? What is our what would be your rating then of the Ascent?
I don't think it's divine, and I don't think it's disgusting. It's just sort of meh. I'm look. This is going to scare everyone. Everyone, hold on to your hats. But I actually really, when we're looking at DS9 as this drama. I really like this idea of the loving father who's an outstanding single parent. And the fact that now we have more than one. So now we have two loving, responsible, caring, nurturing, emotionally engaged fathers that have intimate relationships with their sons. They know what's happening inside of their sons' hearts, their dreams, their aspirations. I actually would have liked to have seen a lot more of that, and maybe divide these two stories, and obviously do a cleanup on aisle 9, make the story crisper, and obviously I'm going to call for more science fiction, more science fiction, more.
Yep. So, what's your rating?
C+.
Okay, C+. I'm going to let it hang at a B-. I thought it was fairly entertaining enough, and it works it moves okay as an episode with some really, really good character moments. So, don't have a whole lot against it. Now, I will ask our wonderful chat. Please, if you wish, give us your rating of the episode of The Ascent. And any words you may have. Like, try to keep it, if you can keep it below the 5 range, I would appreciate it. Helps us out here because we've got so many people here. I mean, even lower than that if you can manage it. But 5, it's too bad. And number 1 will star those for us. And once we get a few of those collected, we'll start to read those.
Somebody just said something in the chat, and I can't back it up because I'm identifying everybody's comments. But whomever you are, I will call you out in a minute when I'm not clicking everybody's names. But I love your idea. If you have some forethought, and you those 3 shows are in production, wouldn't it have been wonderful if they would have amputated Odo's leg, and when Odo is restored as a changeling, to have almost like a starfish thing happen where his leg is restored. And I think somebody has alluded to something of the effect of, he would get his leg back once he was restored as a changeling.
Right.
I can tell you that I think that is a wonderful idea, and
Yeah.
how I just described it is how I would have written it. So quite lovely. And I'm sorry for not crediting you, but I have about 50 messages to clickety click.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. So our first review, of course, is Athras says C+. Okay, enough said. At least he didn't say anything about Babylon 5, which is uncharacteristic of you. Well, I'll say it for you. Babylon 5 is better. Lord Thought, the great LG, says C. This isn't a bad episode. Not a great one. Interesting character ideas, but still fell a bit flat to me. Liked the Odo and Quark story, as I usually do. Yep, it's always pretty cool. Kal-El Buddy says, A. This was an excellent episode which featured both interesting A and B plots for the characters involved. The dynamic between Quark and Odo really shines in this episode, and despite how they interact with one another, one can tell that the two characters really respect each other. The dialogue between Odo and Quark was very entertaining, banter indeed, while humorous at... I got to find your next one, buddy. Hang on. I'm on it. It's going to take a second to find it, I think. Okay. While humorous at the same time, which was an aspect of the episode that I thoroughly enjoyed. Jake and Nog's friendship has also taken an interesting turn when they start to live together. Clearly the two... Hang on. Didn't anticipate how the time spent apart while Nog was away at the academy and Jake's own development during the time might affect their friendship. But thankfully, with some help from... Thanks. Gotta find it. Cisco and Rom Space Knight, they were able to reconcile in the end. Overall, this was a very enjoyable episode, which shed some more light on the aforementioned characters' various personalities. Well, thank you so much, as always, to the our great Super Wrench, Kal-El, for that review. Always appreciate you, my friend. Let's see, up in here. Whom else we've got? Mr. Angel says, B. Love the bickering, love-hate relationship between Odo and Quark. The common experience made them grow closer, and grudgingly, a form of trust starts developing between them. Indeed, an enemy mind clone, but it's done well and grows the interaction between these two great characters. The B plot, I barely remember, and that's telling. I work from memory from decades ago, says Mr. Angel. All right, Chef, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Shooter says B minus. It feels like filler, enjoyable filler, but filler all the same. A-B story format. The A story is a buddy cop movie. Best frenemies forever. Hang on, Shooter. Let me get your second one here. Odo and Quark bickering is simple fun. And not much substance, but enjoyable. It does have a good message about the Ferengi spirit overcoming impossible odds to survive. Yes, indeed.
I just want to interject very quickly here. I'm
Yes.
not going to interrupt your stream of consciousness here,
No problem.
but I have to say, with a very excited voice, that our good friend Cassandra Beacom is in the chat, and she put up a review. I have it start, but I just want to say, Cassandra, it is so good to see you, sweetheart. I'm so happy you joined us. Anyway, sorry about that, boss.
No
I hope I didn't mess things up for you. I'm going to be quiet now.
No problem. Hey, Cassandra, great to see you. Lovely to see you here. Let's see, here we go. Let me see, number 3. How did the explosion do so much damage? Quark's face was right in front of the bomb, yet he was fine. If the blast was routed to the transporter buffer, how did it affect the runabout so much?
Yeah, but why not just put something around it? Like, why not just put it behind some type of field? Why not a containment field? Containment field would have worked lovely here.
Yep. So that's 3 of 5 for Shooter. The next one I see of his says, "Oh, I got 4." Sometimes I'm garbage eyesight. That's always double, triple check. Nice start with the father and son stuff. Jake moving out and Nog returning home. A story of growing up and turning into the odd couple. Yeah. Overall, not bad for a B story. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, exactly. Why was Nod assigned to DS9? Wouldn't he be sent to someplace unfamiliar as a cadet? One would think. Did Cisco pull some strings? Probably. And why, as a cadet, is he allowed to bunk with a civilian? Yeah, good question.
Civvy.
Oh, well, Shooter always
Nothing. I just said civvy.
He always knows how to ask the good questions. That's for sure.
He does.
See here. The Catman, aka D.D. Meyer, says,
Daddy.
Clobby, I thought it was an okay episode. I agree with what you said about this episode. It was an enjoyable episode to say the least. I give it a B. Well, thank you so much, Catman. Appreciate you. Thank you. Classic Comics says, grade B. The Odo Quark dynamic is one of the most entertaining on the show, and it always benefits when it focuses on these two. Beyond that, the episode is pretty meh.
CC sounds like my husband, who is not a Trekkie at all, and that's pretty much what he said when he was watching with me. So, CC, you're in complete agreement with Andrew.
There you go. Michael Beacom says a B minus, page 400, and he means the Deep Space Nine companion, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do Waiting for Godot with Quark as Estragon and Odo as Vladimir, and just have them waiting. Seriously, Beckett, just once I would like to hear Ira Bear say he. There we go. Wanted to copy Heinlein or Asimov. Right. Good point.
Right.
Just once.
Yep.
That's a very good point, Michael. Apparently, they decided to shoot this up Mount Whitney at 14,495 feet altitude. Yikesers. Yep. To quote Oliver, when he saw Dustin Hoffman jogging to Olivier, exhausted for a take in the Marathon Man. I remember that. Have you tried acting, dear boy?
Yeah.
Yes. And is it safe? Is it safe? The altitude gave Shimmerman big problems, it seems. Still, it had good character moments all around, so it gets a C.
Well, Michael Beacom, thank you for that in-text citation. In-text citation is always welcome here. Just the facts, Jack. And, there's a false flag on that, on this. When you look at the fan sites and them discussing this episode, they say, why was there running water if it was a Class L planet? It should be frozen. Obviously, you all know that I live in the foothills of the Canadian Rockies, and I could definitely tell you when
it's
you're
Class L up there.
Yeah, if you're at a certain altitude, you're freezing, and you could die of exposure even on a warm day in the forest, especially in the shade. So when you get up to those altitudes, it's quite cold, and it does not mean that a gushing hydrocycle would be frozen. And that's poppycock, which is just another reason why don't listen to the user-generated sites. They're
Jill, our wonderful communications officer, says B+. This was a smart use of Odo's lack of changeling abilities to explore their frenemy cooperation drama. Sorry about that, Jill. Nog and Jake's New Independence parallels, but it's almost forgettable.
Boss, I have to say, our friend PJ from Orville Nation just walked through the door, and you know what he did? he immediately
Uh-huh.
sent you a super sticker. So I have started,
Hey.
and it is in your starred tab if you wanted to access it. And I have to say, because, I've known PJ since 2017 and I used to podcast with him. PJ, nice to see you, sweetheart.
PJ, thank you so much, buddy. You're too kind, man. I appreciate that, bro, and enjoyed your stream today. Hope you did well with it. I mean, I was there. I had to lurk most of the time, but I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And a big shout out to the great everyone. If you have not already, please. I'm sorry. Please go to his channel. Let me get I think I have a link in my. I got what? Let me. All right. Let me see something here.
Got it,
Thank
boss?
you, PJ. Yeah, I was checking something.
Does anybody know what the sticker is? I don't see it on my side of StreamYard. What is it?
Yeah, I was looking for it now.
Ooh, I want to know what it is.
Okay, you're now a mod, PJ. So, like, just as I am at your place over there. So, I think you are. You should be.
Great,
so,
great,
please
great.
put your link in the chat there, buddy.
Yeah, do it. Bleed.
I think I modded him. I tried.
Hey, and PJ.
Say something, PJ.
Thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on at Clobby's virtual comic book shop. I love you for it.
There you go.
Oh, yes. It's a fist bumping pair.
There you go. Thank you so much, PJ. Now just please put your what do I do? Oh, sorry, I was having some trouble with my screen here.
Thanks, Scuba.
Thank you, buddy. What happened?
Oh, nothing. Just everyone's chiming in with the fact that it's a fist bumping pair.
There you go. So let's see here. The great Maximum Redstone says, C+, the Quark and Odo story could have been just as well demonstrated by the yodeling man from The Price is Right. Wow.
You're not allowed to be that accurate because that just caused the total mental image of the with him dropping off the end.
Oh, the Slim Whitman, eh? C- says the wonderful Lisa. Odo and Quark survive a life-threatening situation and still dislike each other in the end. I love that ending. Yeah, it was great. And Jake and Nog, the odd couple, lived. Yeah, they were like Oscar and Felix.
Mm-hmm.
Learned to live together and compromise out of necessity, not inspired. Says Lisa. Well, I understand, Lisa. Thank you so much for that review.
Lisa, you have totally mastered this. I am so excited that you participate now, and I love your reviews. Also, I love your food. You need to invite me over for dinner.
Indeed is this. Raymond Feliciano says, B, it was yet another excellent character study. The father and son relationships was excellent. Thank you. Appreciate you there, Raymond.
Yeah, love the father.
Great bronze wrencher. Eric K says, C+. Entertaining episode. Get rid of the Jake Nog story. Why do these writers all need to clutter up a story? Drove me nuts. Odo and Quark did not send a distress signal before the crashing. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
And why not a containment field?
Love Odo and Quark. Yeah, that could have been written better. Pleasant Valley Picker says, B+. Entertaining, well-paced episode. Nice to see the Odo-Quark frenemies relationship explored and expanded. The B story was not as bad as some, but still was pretty predictable. Yep. People change, and when you haven't seen a friend in a long time, they can change a lot. I know from personal experience, having a friend as a roommate can be a bad idea. I've been there as well. Solid drama overall. Gotcha. Thank you so much, PVP. Phantom Outsidey. Fanty says C. The interesting part was how once again Odo underestimates Quark, thinking Quark failed. Yet he's never actually been able to catch Quark, even though he knows Quark is always engaged in shady stuff. Truishness.
Boss, I would love to let you know that Daniel's Hot Topics just walked through the door. So everyone in the chat, please say hello to Daniel's Hot Topics. Welcome. Sorry for interrupting you, boss. Please continue.
No, thank you. Daniel's Hot Topics. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Simply Steve also continues. Grade C, the Quark Odo dynamic on full display here, but better than the Jake Nog drama. Runabout down and had to use the Defiant plot saver to rescue Quark and Odo. Thank you, Steve. Oh, Max Redstone, Ascent. It's humorous with a broken humorous.
I know that's not a review, but I just enjoyed it so much I couldn't help it. Whenever I see a homophone, whenever Maximum Limerick is using a homophone, I'm on it. I'm on that homophone.
No problemo. And they called him Scuba. Pete says B minus. Jake moving out hit close to home. I ached for Cisco. Interesting how your personal lens changes for viewing these. Yeah, that's true. No wonder Raquel watches these every year.
Yep. You're always a different person.
Good point.
The world is different. You're different. You have different life experience. And Star Trek is so good that it's new every time as you grow and change and obviously aspire to be a better version of yourselves. If you're a Star Trek fan, you definitely aspire to be a better version of yourself through every year, through every day, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Well said indeed. The great enigmatic drop pair says C minus. The odd couple juice, Oscar and Felix. What?
Senior.
Oh, senior. Okay, that's what. Okay. Senior climb a mountain while Oscar and Felix Junior shack up together for the first time. We always it's the end that throws me off in those two, but maybe they do it differently over there.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. The contrast between Rom Space Knight and Ben was very well done. Rom Space Knight lovingly welcoming his only child home. Ben experiencing the angst of his only child leaving the familial nest.
Yeah, really, it's really hard when you love your offspring and they leave. It is not easy. It is not easy.
Differences in physiology cannot explain away the impossibility of undertaking a 6-day ascent in freezing conditions without adequate rations or without some sort of futuristic aids.
Well, water, for one thing. That's the thing that immediately comes to mind for me. And that's why I said, it has to have more science fiction. Science fiction people are attracted to science. And so, how many days can you go without water? It's certainly not 6 mountain climbing on a Class L planet.
Well, they're not human, so I guess that's their other excuse.
Well,
I guess Odo is kind of human.
Well, that's a very good way of explaining it. Actually, explaining it away, right?
Although Odo is humanoid now, but neither one of them are necessarily humans. But I guess you could use that excuse.
Boss, I have to tell you something before you read Enigmatic Drop Bears 4 out of 4.
Uh-huh.
Stuart Mitchell is here, and I just want to say
Stuart
Dolly had
Mitchell.
Braces. True. And I just wanted to let you know that our good friend Gil has shown up. Gil Bavel, also known as Cardinal Sin, or what I like to call him, Cardi. He has left you a wonderful super sticker to say hello. And everyone, you should follow Cardinal Sin.
Oh, thank you, Cardi. Appreciate you so much, buddy. Good to see you, Gil. Hope you're doing great, man. Once again, we have a runabout going missing in Federation space. This is a convenient plot device, but not realistic. True enough. Thank you so much, the great ED, Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Dadman walking. Hey there, Mrs. Dadman. Good to see you. B minus, she says. Enjoyable episode. I also like seeing single parents, especially dads, shown in positive light.
Yeah.
I do. I love that Raquel talked about that a lot because it needs to be talked about more. It's excellent. And I'm glad you like that as well, Mrs. Dadman. Those of us who are dads appreciate you. Some stuff just did not make sense, but like the character study.
I love Mrs. Dadman walking. What a lady. What a lady. Hubba. And boss, we need to say hello to J25. J25, welcome. Everybody, please wave hello to J25.
J25. Welcome, J25. Appreciate you. It's great to have you here. The wonderful Cassandra Beacom says, I feel Otto being Otto. I mean, oh, she means Odo, I'm sure.
Odo.
A being that can change shape should not have been injured in one. But Quark, he's a humanoid right now because remember the changelings turned him into a humanoid.
Yes.
Let's see, should not have been injured one, but Quark would have she would have added a more, which would have added a more. I got you. The boys were the odd couple. The episode needed to be rewritten by a fan. Cassandra, absolutely. You said
Wonderful.
it. Absolutely. And again, thanks for that super sticker, Cardinal Sin. Appreciate you, brother. Hope
And
you're doing
Shooter
well,
told us what it was, but it just flew by. I think it's a pair waving hello, but Shooter told
Thank you,
us.
Shooter. Okay, no, I can see the side now. I can see it. So
okay, good.
Thank you so much. Wolfie Sade, rating B-. The oversized transmitter on Ice Planet Zero, reference to the original Battlestar Galactica. Well done, Wolfie. There are some great Odo and Quark moments here. Absolutely. 2 of 2. Nog's newfound cleanliness reminds me when I first visited home after joining the Air Force. Thank you, Wolfie. And Sean Carter of Mars.
Oh, wait a second here.
What?
Didn't that say 2 of 5?
Who? Wolfie?
No, it's okay. It's just me. I thought that he had more than that. Please keep going. It's just me. Ignore me.
Okay. He said, Sean Carter of Mars says, my only comment here is just a slight retort to RM regarding Christian proverbs. I don't recall if Christianity was referenced in the episode, but it's not. But if it's not, does that matter? But if it's not, does that matter? The second part, the proverb itself is still true, and many, myself included, don't necessarily know it has a Christian origin. Native Americans, for instance, agree with the notion of not wasting things. I know you weren't saying that, but good.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that because a willful waste makes woeful want is definitely, a Christian idiom. They say waste not, want not. And my objection is not to Christianity, certainly not. Once you get to know me better, you'll find out that even as an agnostic, I advocate positively for people who are spiritual or who believe in a higher power. That has absolutely nothing to do with what I said. What I said about that is that Quark, who comes from Ferenginar, would not know that saying, number one. Number two,
have his own take on it, his own Ferengi take on it.
He would have his own Ferengi take on it. And it's a missed opportunity by the authors to say, the 79th rule of acquisition. If you waste, you'll want, or something like that. It's a wink to the audience, but it's a careful fidelity. It's showing the audience that you care about the fact that Ferenginar is an alien planet where they have their own thing, and so you can delight in the alienness of the aliens. But certainly, I would never speak poorly of Christianity ever under any circumstances. I was actually raised in a very, very devout Christian home where one of my parents taught Sunday school. So I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. I'm agnostic, but I would not do that. My issue has nothing to do with that.
They often in Trek, I've noticed, like, for example, when it's Ferengi, I agree with you big time on that. They should have come up with the Ferengi variation, because they've done that many times. Like, things in the rules of acquisition would be similar to something that humans say. But also there are times when an alien in Star Trek, like Quark or whomever, will say the humans have a saying, and then they would say that.
Exactly. And it makes the storytelling more lush. The humans say. But here he is speaking to a changeling, and he's from Ferenginar, and he's saying waste not, want not. And I mean, it happens often with this series, and it's just sloppy drama writing. There's no need for mental or emotional gymnastics. It's just sloppy writing. You have to write for the character. You can't write just, whatever you feel. You have to be careful, loving, and careful.
All right. Yes, indeed. Okay. Are we ready to move on to our next episode?
I think we are. I think we are.
Okie doke. Everyone, our next episode of the evening is Rapture.
You know what's going to happen, right? Scuba Pete's going to put some Blondie lyrics in the in the chat. You could be certain of it. Rapture, folks, is season 5, episode 10, production code 508. 508, folks. And we all watched this for the very first time on December 30th, 1996. Without further ado, I'm going to read the plot as it is written on wikipedia.org. When Sisko sees a painting depicting Valhalla, Bajor's legendary lost city, he is inspired to search for the sacred site. The painting depicts an obelisk that, according to legend, marked the city's coordinates. Sisko recreates the obelisk in the holosuite to try and determine what the hidden markings might be. A short circuit in the holosuite system briefly knocks him unconscious. Dr. Bashir tells Sisko his brain has been overloaded and his senses will be enhanced for a few days. He warns him to return to the infirmary if he experiences any side effects. At dinner, Sisko absent-mindedly cuts his fruit into shapes which he realizes are the missing markings from the obelisk. He doesn't cut fruit, he actually cuts cheese. Meanwhile, Sisko receives news that Bajor has been accepted into the Federation and the signing ceremony will be held on Deep Space Nine. Back in the holosuite, Sisko had a vision of Valhalla, during which he briefly understands all of Bajor's history and can see its future. Soon, Cassidy Yates is released from prison, and Sisko tells her he has located Valhalla and invites her to accompany him to Bajor to find it. On Bajor, Sisko is stricken with a painful headache, but he soon brings Cassidy to the ruins of Valhalla. The Bajorans regard Sisko's discovery as a miracle, and for the skeptics, confirmation that he truly is the emissary. When Sisko gets home, he seems to have psychic powers. He had a vision of a swarm of locusts passing by Bajor and attacking Cardassia. Bashir determines that Sisko's headaches are life-threatening and asks to operate immediately. Sisko refuses, unwilling to put a stop to his visions. With Kai Wynn's help, he consults the mystical orb of prophecy. The ceremony for Bajor's admittance to the Federation begins without Sisko. Sisko bursts in late, weak and in pain, and warns that if Bajor joins the Federation now, it will be destroyed by locusts. The Bajorans vote to delay joining the Federation. Sisko is rushed to the infirmary, where Bashir reports that he must operate immediately to save his life. Since Sisko himself refused the operation, his son Jake, as next of kin, must decide his father's fate. Unwilling to let his father die, Jake permits the operation. Sisko awakens to anguish at the loss of his visions. Cassidy reminds him that while he has lost something very important to him, what he saved, his life with his son, is even more precious. And that is all Wikipedia.org has to say about Rapture, Season 5, Episode 10. I'm going to turn it over to the captain now. Captain, my captain, mon capitaine. Please tell me, what did you think of Rapture?
Well, new uniforms. The first takeaway I got from it, at least now that I know these are uniforms they started out with, the First Contact had or whatever. I don't know, around the same time, I guess, maybe. I'm not really big on the whole, we've discussed many times, obviously. I'm not too big on the whole prophets, Bajoran side of this whole show, the whole stuff going on with just the goings on. I understand it's part of the show. It's there, right? And I just, the whole mystical side of the whole emissary, all the emissary stuff. It's just, I guess I don't really hate the episode or anything like that. It's just not really my bag, if you see what I'm saying. I guess I'm trying to be polite to it because it doesn't make me angry. I don't know what you thought of it, but I really don't have super strong feelings about it one way or the other. It's just that when it comes to Deep Space Nine, I I accept a lot of the drama stuff, even some of the intrigue and some of the war stuff, because it's a good drama. It's a good drama, and it's set when it's being true to the Star Trek universe. The occasional dalliances with science fiction are nice, and I love the characters. The thing I kind of like least about it for me is some of the stuff with Bajor and the prophets and different things. I don't hate it. I just it's not really my bag, particularly. If you see where I'm coming from, I think you know.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think Gene Roddenberry wouldn't have liked it very much. I completely agree with you. Like, if you're going to watch DS9, you realize these are not science fiction authors. Our holy trinity of Gene L. Kuhn and Gene Roddenberry and DC Fontana, they are long gone in that rearview mirror. We cannot see them anymore. And not only is all the science fiction gone, but we have this added element of religiousness that I don't think Gene Roddenberry would have approved of. And certainly if you are privy to his interview with Humanist Magazine, he was not, this staunch atheist who was going to chide religious people. In fact, he fought with Michael Piller about not making fun of religious people. And so it's not that he had, this hate for religious people. That's actually not true. We have it in his own words that he did not want to tangle with this stuff because he didn't want people to be offended. And obviously, it's very true too, through his readings and through his interviews and his university lectures, that he wasn't into didacticism. He wasn't into this over moralizing, and he certainly wasn't into hegemony. Where you have this dominance or leadership, where you have this sort of these bougie ideas and you want to push them on people. He was against both of those things. So I definitely think that Gene would not have approved of the level of religiousness that is involved here. And not because, like I said, I'm going to say this again, not because he had something against religious people, because he did not. That's patently false.
Yeah.
It's that he felt that it wasn't something to be handled in this way, like this. He felt it to be a very delicate matter, and I completely support him on that.
Right. Well, because when you come out and categorically state that deities are just aliens, they're more advanced than us, you are automatically getting into the philosophical argument or theological arguments. You're doing that. That's what you're doing. And it's fine, by the way. It's fine for science fiction to do that. I have no problem with it. But I could understand why he would want to avoid that with Star Trek. The people now in charge of Star Trek with this show didn't agree. It is a part of this series, and it's just not something I care much for. I understand it. It comes part and parcel with the show. It's never really, when it's focused upon, and those are using my episodes, I don't really care a whole lot for as much. But I want to say hello to Grim. From popping in. Hey, Grim. Good to see you. Welcome, Grim. And is that the Tetrarch of Apathy? Is that how you say that?
Yes.
The Tetrarch of Apathy. I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome. It is an honor to have you here at Clobbering Times.
Oh, I think that this fine human actually has an example of what I was trying to say. And he's given a lovely example, if it is a he. He says, late with the comments regarding aliens using human idioms. A great example is Garrick quoting, "Our fault is not within the stars, but within ourselves," to Ibn Tain, and attributes it to Dr. Bashir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with this, because remember, your job as an author is not to create mental or emotional gymnastics for your viewers or your readers. It's to keep them immersed in this beautiful pretend world that you construct with the words you use and the dialogue you create. So it's important for people to keep that in mind.
Yep. Anyway, notes.
Yes. In 20,000 years, no one looked at the reflection in the water. Get out of here. He's better than Kirk? No way. I prefer the TOS version of this story, which is the Paradise Syndrome, Season 3, Episode 3. That is corporate Star Trek in TOS. They were already on their 4th or 5th corporation at that time. But The original Obelisk Needs to Be Read story was better done by Kirk. Cisco cuts the cheese. I know that's a juvenile joke, and many of you would think that as an academic, it is beneath me and that I don't normally partake in such ridiculous joking, but it's just too funny and too hard to ignore. Cisco cuts the cheese. Jadzia says Starfleet should accept new members every week or every day or something like that. I would need to look up the script again. The Federation approves member planets, not the Earth-based military. So here we have another part where the writers don't really understand Star Trek and they're sort of falling over themselves and not really creating the dialogue they should. Starfleet doesn't approve the memberships, the Federation does.
Yeah.
This is an incredibly odd way to put Cassidy Yates back with Cisco post-prison. These two have a lot of stuff that they need to work out. What Cassidy did was far more than just break the law. She also betrayed him. She lied to him, and she leveraged Ben's position and jeopardized the safety and Ben's position with Starfleet and with everyone who lives on the station. So he needs to have an in-depth conversation with her about reconciling the things she has done. She's fresh out of prison. It's just weird that this is the way they smoosh them together. Oh, you didn't think of Paradise Syndrome? It's the first thing I think when I think of the obelisk.
I didn't either.
It's me standing in front of the obelisk yelling, J.K. Kirk!
I am Kirok!
I know I am Kirok, but for the 735 Club, it's J.K. Kirk! Anyway, so yes, once again, if you're going to write drama, you should be good at writing drama. If you decide that you're not going to write science fiction and you're going to write this compelling drama and you're going to turn Star Trek into a drama, then write drama and be good at it. Be good at it. I realize that people have had since 1996 to create a whole bunch of mental and emotional gymnastics to make up for this crap writing, but I'm going to call it what it is, crap writing. And now we have more religious stuff. And here we're starting to get into some dangerous territory where Gene would have literally walked onto the set and said, we're not doing this. I'm sorry. No. And that's when Cisco becomes the Messiah. He has a clear biblical journey where Cisco is the Messiah. Gene Roddenberry would have been horrified by doing this to the Judeo-Christian audience in the United States and involving himself in this sort of sticky business. Now, remember, if you look at his humanist article that he gave over like a 4+ day period, he is on record stating that he never wanted to create an episode that would turn people away. That's why he embraced this idea, which we call in academia, the Socratic dialectic. He didn't describe it as that. I describe it as that. And what it is welcoming people into the narrative, giving them information, showing them things, and getting them to test what they think is true through the evidence. And remember that humanist article where he specifically says to the interviewer, and this was a very intense, very sincere interview right before he died, it's not my job to turn people away. And I'm paraphrasing him here. I'm supposed to compel them to stay and engage, not to push them away. So not good, not good. I know quite a few of my Christian school teachers who would not think too kindly of Cisco traipsing around as Messiah. It's not good. Some people might even see it as blasphemy. In a science fiction story, Cisco would not be allowed to decide not to operate due to hallucinations. This is uncharacteristic of Ben as a loving single father. This is weird. It feels awkward. At one point, he actually says, and I quote, I am cradling the universe. So here we see someone who is delusional and he thinks he's God. He literally puts his hands as though he is cradling a baby and says, I am cradling the universe. Wow. Such ridiculous, melodramatic hubris. Are you serious? I wrote in my notes. Come on, man. This guy is melodramatic. This is delusional. And this is BS. The lady who killed Burial is also now involved with what's happening with Ben. Now, you'll remember that Burial died because he refused medical treatment on account of this engagement with the prophets. And here we have Kai Wynn again involved in helping someone refuse medical treatment. It's all too much. It's ridiculous. And it's important that after Ben has this exchange with the Admiral, in real life, he would have been institutionalized and relieved of duty. Yeah. Cradling the universe, folks, and he rocks his arms back and forth. He might as well be finger painting with his feces in an I Love Me jacket at a sanitarium. Anyways, I also was not aware that you could depolarize a human brain. What the F? And that's all I put in my notes.
Well said. Wow, you made me hate it even more now.
Sorry.
No. That's what you're here for. Yeah, it was just, I was more just kind of not liking it, but yeah, that's pretty bad. Now that you mention it. I guess it's just anytime they go there with this kind of creepy crap, and there are episodes way down the road that actually made me a lot angrier along these lines, but we're a little bit away from those, a ways away from those as yet. So, I guess I'll just go ahead and ask you for your rating of Crapture, and we'll do that, and we'll just rate them and get it over with.
Okay, so this isn't science fiction, and it commits the worst sin you could ever commit against the, and of course I'm parsing this way for a purpose. It commits the worst sin you could commit against Gene Roddenberry, and that is treating the audience as though they're nincompoops. And so for that, and the fact that it sort of gets into these dirty, yucky things that might offend or hurt or harm people who believe in a higher power, and sort of demean it or cheapen it, and these intellectual disconnected intellectual things that just make a rational person horrified. I'm sorry, I have to give it a D-. It's a D-.
Well, we're not far off from you. I got it at a D, just for dull and I don't like all that kind of. I just don't like it when they get into this kind of crazy stuff. And Cisco, the way he was acting all throughout the episode, was just annoying. And the crap at the end,
the universe.
Oh God. And that crap about him deciding against the operation, he'd rather just go ahead and die.
Ridiculous. It's just.
He's pissed off that Jake has to make the decision. It's like he's all regretting it and all this. Shut up! The whole thing's just a bad mistake, I think. Yeah. Anyway, now everyone, I will ask you for our good friends. I'll ask you for your ratings and any words you may have about the episode Rapture. And while number one is starring those,
thank you, Jilly.
I will bring us some Max Redstone entertainment, because we got some lyrics from the great master of the limerick,
Maximum Limericks,
Max Redstone. So, everyone, Rapture by the great Max Redstone. Here we go. The lost city, the emissary will explain. Its meaning is not at all inane. Cisco says the Bajorans must snub the mighty Federation Club because he's gone insane in the membrane. I like it. Well done to the great Max Redstone. Everyone cheers for the Max Redstone, folks. Sean Carter, thank you. Says, RM, the more I hear you talk, the more I wish we all had more time to explore and discuss these ideas. This is the beauty of Trek. Real Trek, for sure, yeah. Even a bad episode can spark hours of enlightening conversation. Thank you. You are too kind for that. Sean, I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate your thoughtfulness. What you said there really resounds with me because it's so true. It's so true. Trek, see, this is real Trek between 66 and 05. And even when we're talking about an episode that we do not like, and not everyone dislikes it, maybe the point of view that like the episode, we don't even know that yet. But even if it's an episode we don't like if Raquel hates the episode, she can talk about it and talk about ideas and talk about why, because we have such a standard set for Star Trek, the Gene Roddenberry set, and that we can talk about not only when something is really good Star Trek, when something does not meet the standards of what Star Trek should be, that's also a fascinating and enlightening conversation as well. That's what we love about Star Trek. So that is really well said, and a fascinating point. And I thank you for your generosity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I didn't respond right away. I tend to mute when I'm starring everyone's replies because it's quite annoying, you know what I mean? Because it's like clickety, 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 click. But thank you so much for making that donation to keep the lights on at Clubby's virtual comic book shop. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. And we had an earlier super chat with from Eric K. It said Shakespeare. Thank you, Eric. He said Shakespeare in the original Klingonians. I guess he's referring to Star Trek 6 there. Now, before we get on to the reviews, Sean had a couple other things that he said after you were already reviewing, so I didn't want to cut you off. He said, but Quark does reference several times how he's been influenced by humans, i.e., he mentions that after a while, one develops a taste for root beer, even though he hates it. Yeah, he has. It's very true. But he also said, Sean also said, RM, I did not mean to imply you were attacking. You were attacking nor not liking Christianity. Chalk it up to limited space to type and talk. I love you. Oh, she knows you. She knows that, Sean.
I love you too. It's
she knows you want to.
I really do think that the authors really need to, if they're going to write drama, I really think that they should really focus on making great drama, great character drama. And I think if you're drawing on all of these human idioms all the time, I mean, we point it out almost every week, maybe sometimes even a couple of times a week, or in a couple of episodes, I mean. I think it's not only is it a missed opportunity, but like I said, I think for a lot of people, it pulls them out of the show. And I'm happy that it doesn't do that for you, but it does do that for a lot of people. And certainly I think that if you're only writing drama and you're not going to go to the trouble of doing the research and doing science fiction writing, I do think you owe it to people to be the very best drama writer you can be. And and so that's all I have to say on it. And I love you too.
Indeedishness. Raymond, something you put in your chat that you put up there is kind of a spoiler thingy, so I can't put it up. Raymond gave it a B. Problematic as it is, this is a very, because I know you put up a review before you were done. This is very much a part of the DS9 mythos. And you said, oh, spoiler alert, but I can't read the rest of that because people are not wanting to be spoiled about stuff. So I'm sorry about that. But you did. I know you put spoiler on there, but I can't put that on the screen because if you see what I'm saying. I know you understand, Raymond. No problem, by the way. It happens. Okie dokie. Shooter says, wow, 6, man. He's got an epic. He's an Esh picker. Not Shooter. I'm sorry. It's Steven. Kellel. Sorry about that. Not Shooter. I got yours next, Shooter. B-. This episode tells an interesting story, once again highlighting the Bajoran religious prophecies, and does so in a manner that fulfills its purpose in furthering the overall narrative. Let's see here. I did somewhat enjoy the archaeological aspects of the episode. Being a fan of Indiana Jones and Laura Croft, who isn't, it fits Sisko's character in the story that was being told. However, it was hard. Hang on, I'll get to the next one, sir. Hang on, Kal-El. Sorry, man, it's way down here. Here we go. To believe that Sisko would abandon his son, his mission, even his life, just to understand it all. That's not to say that the influence of the visions he was having wasn't a factor, but No, I do see what you mean. Cisco always struck me as a character of conviction, as well as honorable, as well as an honorable individual. As a family man and a Starfleet officer, once he accomplished his task of preventing Bajor's entry. Hang on. Into the Federation for now. One would think he would have approved of the necessary procedure to save his life. Still, despite this, it was a very enjoyable episode, and on a personal note, another reason why I like this episode is because it finally incorporates my favorite version of the Starfleet uniform, First Contact, into the series going forward. You like those, huh? I've never been too fond of going. I never understood going with the gray over thing where everybody's wearing gray like that. You like those? That's cool. A lot of people like them, but I gotta say, Cal, I'm not fond of them too much. Just me. I would like to, maybe we'll put a poll up there and ask everybody what they think. Hang on, everyone. I'm moving my chair around. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Shooter says, so back on the Bajoran religious storyline, he says C, by the way. So back on the Bajoran religious storyline, we're beginning to enter the serialized stories. Cisco playing with his food, Close Encounters of the Third Kind ripoff. Yep, that's well spotted there. Shoot, I hear you. It's not a bad episode, but relies on religion and fantasy rather than science. I know why Bajor must stand alone, but the writers could have just not had Bajor accepted into the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
It's true.
Yes, they could have done that. Hang on, find your third one here. Give me a second. Bzz, bzz, bzz. There you go. It also tells us the war with the Dominion is coming. Knowing this diminishes the story, as now we are waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, good part.
Shooter,
good part.
Shooter is he's a true sci-fi fan. So
yeah,
I love his feedback.
I had to call him Scuba. Pete says C-. Now Cisco's gone back to space, where he figured out the Bajoran race. And I don't know what I'm singing. That I don't know what that is. And you hollow hop, and you don't stop. You reverse data obelisk, reflecting off fruit shots. I don't know what that is to the tune of, my friend. You got me, but it's still great stuff.
I love Scuba.
Mr. Angel, the chef, says, not a fan of the religious mystical stuff of the show. I have a strong built-in distrust for it. I see the prophets as just another advanced species, and the fact they present themselves as gods is instilling a deep distrust for them in me. That means they have hidden motives in my book. I rather trust the Q. The prophets are a bit too indifferent to suffering. For me personally, too indifferent. I hear you, sir. I hear you. Pleasant Valley Picker says, D.
Boss, before you proceed, I'm so sorry. Please, I beg your pardon for interrupting, but Chris Persia is leaving. He says, all right, I'm going to hit the showers. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, Chris Persia.
Chris Persia, I love you. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for promoting the show. Thank you for the beautiful show poster. Everyone, please say goodnight to the great Chris Persia. Mwah,
Absolutely.
Mwah, mwah. Good night, honey.
Take it easy, buddy. Thank you so much for all you do. It's all right. D for Pleasant Valley Picker, never a big fan of episodes that center on Bajoran religion, as often the stories drag, and anything with Kai Wynn takes it down. Not a big Kai Wynn fan either, myself. So I hear you. Was there another one? I think he's got another one. Oh, yeah. There we go. Still, Avery Brooks gives a solid performance in spite of bad writing. Cassidy's return doesn't add much, though. Basically, it plays like Mira melodrama for me. Oh, minor. Sorry, minor. Okay, I need to move the screen closer. Thank you, Pete BP. I understand. Lisa says, excuse me, says C. Always like shows that attempt solving a mystical mystery, i.e., Indiana Jones. How the Messiah knowledge can be overwhelming, destructive. Poor Jake having the fate of his father in his hands. Thank you so much, Lisa. I hear you. Simply Steve says D minus. Cisco deluded, and making the audience seem like religious nuts and not in his right mind. An episode that made me stop watching DS9 for a bit. Oh, wow. Cradling the universe statement, a god he is not. Steve, I hear you.
Right?
Max Redstone also gives us one episode, an 00 miles. Oh, maybe he had another one up here. Here we go. Catman says, Clobby, very disappointed in this episode. Very much. I give it a D plus. A lot of D pluses there. There you go. Well, Catman, thank you so much. Zathra said B minus. Okay, I guess Cisco should have gone beyond the rim, talked to Sheridan and Lorian, and come back and said this show sucks. That would have been awesome. I love it. He always gets the Beat 5 stuff in there. He's the man.
Oh, Sheridan. I miss Sheridan. I gotta
miss
rewatch.
Sheridan.
I gotta rewatch some B5.
I do. I need to go back. Did you finished it, right? I gotta go back. Max Redstone says D minus. Bajor needs to stay neutral. I get it. This is a mix between Benjamin Sisko's Superstar and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's nice. Oh, the great Michael Beacom says, D, dear Ira Bear and company, please stop trying to tackle quasi-religious themes unless you actually understand them. You wanted to make Cisco a prophet. I think they made him a loss instead. But since he has to be back to regular Captain Cisco by the episode's end, true, you take his prophecy and make it another phased ion particle. Bullcrap pseudoscience thing. Your implication that any prophet is just someone with...
I'll get you to pause there since you're going to put his 3 out of 4. And I just want to say that the lovely 6, our girl 6, she just walked into the room and she immediately sent you a $5 super sticker, boss. So please, everyone say hello to 6. We love you, baby.
Oh, 6. Thank you so much, my dear. You are too kind. Oh, look at that. Thank you, my dear. Love you. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you, 6. You're the best. Everyone, the lovely, the beautiful 6, our dear friend. Let's see here. Michael's, what was on his third one, I think. Number 3. Brain chemistry issues is insulting at best. Though, if you ever saw Shatner's The 5 Captains interview with Avery Brooks, you realize how he is in this episode is close to the real man. Yeah, I've seen him talk, and geez, wow, he's even in person once. A friend of mine saw him talking, and he's just a wackadoodle in a nice way. Like he's just kind of I think he's maybe just a different kind of a cat. The cheese scene is a direct homage, they thought, to Close Encounters of the Third Kind's mashed potatoes moment. Yes, exactly. Burr, we wanted it to be a cool moment of itself, and it just didn't make it.
Nope.
You have a lot of those, Stephen. Ira. You have a lot of those.
Oh, thank you, Shooter. Shooter says it's a dancing pair with party paraphernalia. Thanks, Shoot.
Thank you so much, Shooter. Jill says D minus. Let's see here. I don't buy that Cisco would risk death over visions from the prophets that have already been established as vague, obfuscated, to the point where vague and obfuscated, to the point where they can be misinterpreted easily.
Yep.
Indeedishness. Absolutely, Jill. And then Max Redstone followed up later. I would also give this episode, Miles. What are you trying to say here? mean, just spill it. Is this what you're trying to say, everyone?
Clamoring, come forth, clamoring,
Clamoring, then bring forth Clamoring. If you receive Clamoring, you come with
Maybe that's what you're trying to say. J25 says, C, I like Worf's moment supporting Cisco's faith. I've grown, yeah, that was an interesting exchange, I guess. I've grown more spiritual over the years, and I'm okay with the Cisco and the prophets, but they took it too far in the last season. I can't say much. No, I can't. Some people haven't seen it all yet, so I'm sorry. I'm going to cut that off. I hope no one's what.
Just before it whizzes away, because the chat is vibing tonight, our wonderful ballerina Katie has walked through the door. She has a review. I have it starred. So just everyone say hello to Katie. Katie is going to be in Swan Lake. She has an upcoming production. She is marvelous ballerina, and I just want to say hello to her. She is an old friend, and we love her.
Yes, and Katie, great to see you. Everyone, just if you do try, because a lot of you have seen the show going, and it's a lot of interconnective tissue between what's now and what's going to come later. I think our buddy Ed Newington, Drop Bear, and a couple of other friends have not actually seen the show all the way through. So bear in mind that if you're referencing something that you know is coming up, because we had 2 chats now. I mean, nothing, not I know you guys didn't mean to do it, but I'm just saying, kind of bear that in mind when you write any of these reviews for stuff, because if you could, thank you. I mean, to me, even if I hadn't seen it, spoilers don't really bother me, but there are people that don't like it, so let's just do that. But appreciate you so much. And, the great Eric K says, F+. Wow, F+, dude.
Yep.
Hey, you're back. Hey, you're back. You're back. You portrayed me, but move in and hop in my bed. Depolarize. What the heck? You depolarize hull plating and Enterprise, not nerves. Why not remap his nerve pathways? Just plain dumb.
Yep.
There you go, buddy.
Yep. And I believe that King Dolphin TV is leaving.
In color. Raymond, take it easy, man. Have a good one. And if Sandra, if that's the case for both of you, thank you for being here tonight. Hope you had a great night and have a great remainder of your weekend, my friends. Fancy says, as the Phantom Outsider says, C-. It was meh. Apparently, the writers heard Ariam complain with Worf's. There's a Klingon proverb: you cannot lose a man's tongue with root beer. Loosen a man's tongue with root beer. One hopes that Odo will also scan runabouts.
So true. So true, Fanty.
Explosives, the vision Cisco was experiencing, where I felt the wormhole aliens letting him see the universe as they do, showing how advanced they were to normal humans. I was kind of checked out at that point, and I wasn't really paying a whole hell of a lot of attention. Of attention, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with people, but I do think that that the bottom line is if you were going to engage him that way and sort of electrocute him, when he has his orb moment, we should all join him in there and have that non-linear conversation with the Cisco. Yeah, instead, it's left as a lacuna. Well, actually, lacunae, right? There are multiple gaps where we're just supposed to suppose. And yeah, so it's very unsatisfying to boot. The
great idiomatic Drop Bear says, B. Wow, they really mixed their metaphors in this melting pot of religious iconography. Iconography. How do you say that word? Oh,
that's good. You're okay. It's a Greek word.
Iconography. Iconography. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you can pronounce it the way that you pronounced it too.
No,
don't worry.
Iconography is the way you say it. I'm sorry. I just thought it was just.
It's okay.
For it. Valhalla, seemingly a reference to Babylon, and Valhalla is lost like the city of Atlantis. All of this was incredibly clumsy and fatuous. Looking past that, though, it did serve to show the enormous leverage that Cisco enjoys. Joyce. He is held in divine regard by Bajorans, and the Federation cannot afford to lose effective control of the wormhole.
Mm-hmm. Boss man, I have to
Yes.
interject very quickly just to say that Mr. Angel, our wonderful ship's chef, is going back to his quarters. He's finished his duty for the evening. Everyone, please say goodnight to Mr. Angel.
Good night, Mr. Angel. Be good, buddy. Hope you feel better, Chef. Take care. This all hints at some sort of conspiracy by the prophets to maintain neutrality around the wormhole while they pursue some higher design. I look forward to seeing that play out. Thank you so much, ED. Let's see here. Wolfie says, C+. The reason that the Federation is on DS9 is work with the Bajorans, to work with the Bajorans if they choose to rejoin the Federation. Must be a big reason for stopping that from happening. Let's see here. The Battle of Sector 001 happened around the time of this story. The Defiant was nearly rammed into a Borg cube by Mr. Woof. No mention of these events whatsoever.
Boss,
Yes.
while you are on Wolfie, would you please scan through your
goodness.
starred tab? You have a
Wolfie.
very generous gift from the Wolfman.
That's
and
very
he has
generous.
something to say.
Thank you so much, Wolfie. You're too kind, buddy. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. You should not have. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. He says they might have been trying to do the Wrath of Khan throwback where everyone wears the same primary color and the undershirt stripes tell what specifically they are. I don't mind these, but primary red in the Wrath of uniforms do it better. You know, I have my issues with those as well. I mean, it's just a Trek geek thing where I don't really. I think I like the color scheme of the original series the best, even if the uniform changes a little bit, and even on TNG, it's still I like that idea, the concept on TNG that they have a color scheme. Yes, they flipped it from original series to TNG, but at least they had multicolored. This all one color thing, be it the ones whether it's in Wrath of Khan or whether it's in now these with the gray. Not my bag, but I guess I'm just being silly.
I believe in the book Star Trek costumes. It might be Star Trek costumes. They talk about the fact that Wrath of Khan, they chose those red uniforms to make them look more like Roman soldiers and to give a more militaristic look due to the nature of the script. So that was the change for Tiwok. Everyone, and I want to welcome our good friend, a friend of the 735, a member of the 735, Vic Fontaine.
Hey, Victor Fontaine. Hey there.
And you got a gift from Eric.
Okay.
Because he's a sweetheart of a human being. I love him.
If you could start.
I'll start right now, boss.
Thank you, Eric. You're too kind, buddy. Thank you so much, man. He said. Another thing, using a phaser to get into an important archaeological site. Talk about irresponsible. Would you use a backhoe and a jackhammer to see what is in the Sphinx? I certainly would not. But thank you, Eric. You're too kind, buddy. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. Mrs. Dadman says, D, for as good as a father he was in the last episode, he totally sucked as a dad in this one. Choosing to die and leave his son alone. What? WTF. Crazy and delusional. Just what I want in a leader. I'm totally with you there, Mrs. Dadman.
It's inconsistent writing, and you got to call him on it.
Absolutely. Dadman Walking says, C, it was just too much. It was just too mad overall. So much so, I can't find the words to describe anything specific. Don't worry about it, Dadman. I'm with you, and I understand. I was very much the same way. In our final review of this episode, we're going to try to make some time on the next one, I promise. Wonderful friend Katie. Rapture. An easy C for my taste. Never a fan of Kai Wynn. Me either, Katie. And the drama she brings on the station. I think Avery did as best he could with this episode. The prophets were a bit too fantasy sometimes. Indeed, Katie. Absolutely. Yep. We're ready to jump to the next one?
We are, boss. We are.
Okay.
Just draw it up. Okay. You ready to give her?
Oop. Okay. The next one, the darkness and the light, folks.
Let's do it. The darkness and the light, also known as Phantom of the Opera or Phantom of the Soliloquy.
Yeah.
Soliloquies galore here, to the point where you're like, wow, this guy belongs in an I Love Me jacket, needs some glow dart level meds. This is season 5.
Hey, I'm going to get some medicine while you're doing that. You'll be in my earshot. I'll be here. Listen. I'll be right back.
Everyone. Everybody, watch my back. Watch my six.
You're not out of earshot. Don't worry.
This is season 5, episode 11. It is prod code 509. We all watched this for the very first time on January 6th, 1997. Let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I'm going to be reading the plot as written through the user-generated website wikipedia.org. And here we go. Kira is shocked and saddened when Latha Mabrin, a fellow former member of Kira's resistance cell, is murdered. Kira's shock turns to fear when she receives a message consisting of a picture of Latha and a garbled voice saying, "That's one, that's one." Kira interprets the message as a threat to all the former members of the cell and frets that if she were not pregnant as the surrogate mother for Keiko and Miles O'Brien's child, she would be better able to protect her comrades. Kira makes arrangements to transport resistance member Fala onto a runabout returning to Deep Space Nine for her protection, but the transport is sabotaged and Fala is killed. Kira soon receives a message from the scrambled voice saying, "That's two, that's two." Later, while working on the case with Security Chief Odo, Kira receives a "That's three message displaying the face of Mobara, another member of the cell. Furel and Lupaza, I can't remember how it's pronounced, 2 more former comrades come to Deep Space Nine offering to hunt down the assassin for Kira. She prefers to handle her problems within the boundaries of the law, but allows Furel and Lupaza to stay with her in the O'Brien's quarters. During a staff meeting, Odo surmises that whoever is doing the killing will most likely has a vendetta against Kira, and that she is also a likely target. And she notices that the recordings are a modification of her own voice. Soon, that's not true. Nog figures it out with Jadzia, whatever. Soon, Furel and Lupaza are killed by an explosion in the O'Brien's quarters. Kira steals a list of suspects from Odo's office and takes off to investigate. She soon arrives at the home of Solarin Prin, one of the suspects. Prin captures and immobilizes her and explains his motivation. Prin, a Cardassian civilian who was disfigured in a resistance bombing, is punishing those responsible. He accuses Kira of killing indiscriminately, while he kills only the guilty. She counters that the Cardassians were a hostile alien race occupying Bajor, and even if he was a civilian, he was indirectly aiding the occupation and therefore a legitimate target. Prin tells Kira that he will spare her baby, but kill her, and he prepares to operate. Kira begs for a sedative, realizing that the herbs she has taken for her pregnancy render most sedatives ineffective. She pretends to fall asleep, then lunges at Prin, attacking and killing him. When the Deep Space Nine crew arrives to rescue her, Prin is already dead, and Kira, shaken, only wants to go home. And that is all the internet has to say about The Darkness and the Light, Season 5, Episode 11. Boss man, are you back from getting medicine?
I'm here.
Hi. Yeah, boss, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah, that's what I thought of it right there. I probably talked too long about it, didn't I? What happened in this thing again? Oh, there were killers and trying assassinations and crazy.
Every episode of Charlie's Angels that you watched in the 1970s and 80s. This was.
Yes,
I was expecting Charlie to come over the speaker.
JT
Girls.
Kirk's here though.
JT Kirk!
JT Kirk, buddy.
I was talking about you earlier.
You were. Good to see you, JT.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
let's see what happened in this one again. Stuff and things and stuff happened where
No
somebody was
science
wanting to kill
fiction.
somebody. Yeah, we'll see. Somebody wanted revenge on somebody for something. That something happened, and then something. Hey, Ptolemy's minions here though. That'll cheer me
And
up.
the pepperoni,
Me,
the
the
pepperoni.
pepperoni. Bop, 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 bop. I panicked, but there's the pepperoni for you. Hey, the doggy,
Sibby!
Sibby. Hey, Ptolemy. Good to see you. Let's see. I got nothing. I mean, you may as well just give notes. I have. It's
Yeah, I know.
just,
It's just ridiculous.
just
This is every
garbage.
like this is like 3/4 of the episodes of Charlie's Angels.
It's
I've only watched
something, yeah.
the original Charlie's Angels episodes when they were originally broadcast. I don't remember if that was the 70s or the early 80s. I grew up in the 1970s. I don't remember, but this was literally the plot of every Charlie's Angels episode. Well, not everyone, but a lot of them, okay?
We got
a lot of them.
We got to see hot chicks in that.
We did. They were all hot chicks. Shall I get to the notes?
Sure.
All right.
Go for it.
This is Phantom of the Opera, and it is soliloquies galore, and they are hard to endure. This is no Richard III, let me tell you. Miles and Kira talk tenderly about her being up at night in the O'Brien's quarters. Showing the scorched corpse is very un-Star Trek. Okay, and I want you all to think about what happened to Sonak. Under no circumstances would Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek Ace Cast Iron's here. Clubby.
Oh. Hey.
Ace is
What's
here.
Up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. Great seeing you. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
So I just think that it's weird because, look at what happened to Sonak, and, we obviously don't see what happens to Sonak because we can envision it in our imaginations. We don't need to see the body,
right.
The crispy body over and over and over again. So it's extremely un-Star Trek-like. I believe they go to the body 4 times. I could be wrong about that, but I believe it's 4 times. Michael Beacom has sent you a gift, boss. I will start.
Oh, Michael Beacom, thank you so much, buddy.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Sis Raquel. Per the Star Trek costumes book by Erdman and Block, the Rathcom uniforms were supposed to suggest naval uniforms. Horatio Hornblower is mentioned.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Far more militaristic, given the what was transpiring in the film, and of course we know that the Roman red is to prevent blood from showing. Right, you don't want to show that you've been stabbed or that you've been injured. However, okay, I'm just going to continue. So I don't like this thing about the scorched corpse. I believe we go back to it 4 times. I would need to confirm that, but I believe it's a full 4 times. This is very un-Star Trek-like. The exact same thing happens to Sonak. We never see it because we are Star Trek fans. We are science fiction fans. We can imagine what it looks like. Why wouldn't Kira call for help? I don't understand why Kira doesn't call for help in her quarters. The security guard stayed silent. Why? So he's down, face down, and he doesn't even say a single word. He goes down completely silent as though he's been killed. It is completely ridiculous. This is, and then we have some doofus dialogue. And then I wrote underneath daft dialogue. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to say doofus dialogue or daft dialogue. I think it's both. Kira just had a conversation with O'Brien about hunting the assassins but she's preggo. Okay, so she has this conversation with O'Brien where she's like, I would hunt those bad people down and I would get them, but I'm pregnant. So she has this bizarrely stupid conversation about letting the authorities handle it when she's speaking to her friends who are in the resistance. So I think that that's dumb. This is more BS. This is just crap writing by these drama writers who are dropping the ball. It doesn't make any sense. Stay consistent within your own episode. If you can't have continuity throughout all of Star Trek, we're not even asking for that. Just some continuity in your own effing story.
Yep.
It's also important to say that the computer would never say, Kira is no longer on the station. The computer would never say that. The computer would say that she was not on board DS9, or she is not in her quarters, or whatever. Not she is no longer on board. What? Oh,
yes.
JT
Kirk, thank you so much for that. He says, apologies. I never apologize around here, buddy, but for being AWOL, Clobby, and RMB. My friends from Ukraine just had their sister arrive last week.
Oh, nice.
To the U.S., and we were having a party welcoming her arrival. Yay. I'm overjoyed you're still going. I'm overjoyed to see you, JT. Yay. Thank you so much. Good to see you there, buddy. Six. Oh, thank you so much. He said, did I miss the members live stream? No. I was actually going to put out a thing this week and ask what would be a good day. What would be a good day for you, Six? Because I could do one. I guess I'll do one like earlier in the daytime. I'm not sure. Thank you, Six. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So, and I also, I've talked about this previously, so I'm not going to go on too much with it because we've got to get moving here. But I spoke about the fact that Nana Visitor sort of planned her being able to quasi recover from having her baby. So the timing of her being preggo is very obvious in this episode. We know that she's had the baby because she's wearing a prosthetic. And it's super obvious that she's no longer preggers in real life. She goes into hand-to-hand combat. It visibly looks like a pillow, and it's just ridiculous. She I believe at one point she lies face down, which you could not do when you are fully pregnant. Then I wrote underneath melodramatic speech making about war. And then I wrote in yelling all caps, BARF, BARF, with an exclamation point, though not superfluous exclamation points, just one. And then I'll add a.
That's an exclamation point right there. Excuse me. Oh my God. You there, number one?
Yes, I am, boss.
Okay. So there's the notes then. Hey, we can let's make quick work of this puppy.
Okay.
Let's get this one out there. What is your rating of the crapness and the crap, or whatever you want to call it?
It's super cheesy, and I want to be angry at it, and I want to give it an F, but I can't. I can only give it a D. It deserves a D, but it's almost an F. Not only does it get multiple raspberries, but I don't like the un-Star Trek behavior. We have Sonak as the true guide here, and of course, I do not like the Phantom of the Opera soliloquies. His half melted face, him marching around, sort of Richard III, telling us what his devious plan is going to be. It's like Pinky in the Brain. My offspring used to watch this cartoon called Pinky in the Brain. I don't watch television, but I just remember that during the show, I would always hear from the kitchen, "What do you want to do, Brain?" Same thing we do every night, take over the world or whatever. It totally reminded me of like the silliness of that show. So it just, yeah, lesser Richard III, ridiculous Phantom of the Opera, stop with the soliloquies and do it Sonak style. It's a D.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an F. I'm just, because it's just, yeah, I mean, there may be worse episodes and all, but this is just, everything about it's kind of just trashy and boring and doesn't really belong in Star Trek. It's just a wasteoid of an episode that means nothing. It's got a lot of senseless melodrama in it. I just don't care. Maybe that's a little harsh. Maybe it should just be a D. Maybe I'll just go with a moderate D, but it kind of deserves an F, almost just for being annoying. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and give it an F. What the hell? It's just for being a pain in my butt. So, all right, everybody. Now I would ask our wonderful friends in the chat to give us your rating of Oh, I didn't put the picture up. Well, this episode was so forgettable. I think I forgot to put the stupid picture up, didn't I? Well, there you go. I thought I had it up there. Did you take it down? Did you take it down?
No, I did not.
Oh, I don't know.
I would never do that. You kidding
could.
me?
No, I mean like
Hey,
to put something up there for a
I
minute.
would just like to. I would just like to say right now.
Maniacs.
I would just like to say right now that I am revising my review. I wanted to give it an F. I should have just stuck with my original F. I am officially revising my review to a full F.
Go for it. Yeah, F it. So, all right. Just while you are starring those, everyone, while number one is starring your reviews, I will get us some great Max Redstone entertainment for this episode.
Maximum limericks.
So here we go, folks. I gotta move my face to this, so my screen's kind of tiny here. The Darkness and the Light by the great Maximum Redstone. Here we go. Kira's observing a dangerous dance. Her resistance friends being crushed like ants. And no, we won't see the end of her pregnancy. She deletes a Cardassian who could press pants. Wow. That was good. Who could press pants? I love Max. Spectacular as always, buddy. Oh, he put a yeah. I got it. I got it, Max. Thank you. Oh, but thank you. But you didn't. Yeah. You know I wouldn't let you down with those. Thank you so much, Jill, for the $5 super sticker. You're too kind, my dear. You shouldn't have. Thank you. D. Bud Martin says Max Redstone member chat. He says this episode made me appreciate pressed pants.
Hey, do you know what just happened?
Thanks.
One of the best things ever. One of our original viewers and someone who is a longtime friend of yours in real life. He just put up my favorite reviews.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when no one used to understand that Ace has ideas about which ships he likes and which ships he doesn't like, and he incorporates them into his reviews. And I used to have to explain them to people. And seeing Ace's review style in the chat is such a great thing. I missed you so much, Ace. I love you, and I love your rating style, and it's so cool that you're here.
Good to see you, buddy. Can't wait to see that review. So here we go, folks. Our wonderful friend Katie, and we're always just so happy to see you, my dear, says to me, it was pretty good. I thought Kira's speech about what Cardassians did to Bajorans was very eye-opening and didn't play around with the atrocities. You could hear it, didn't need to see it. B+. Thank you, Katie. Katie Dax, appreciate you so much. On the other hand, we have a different take here from our wonderful chief of communications, our communications officer, anti-derivative Jill. Hey, Jilly, she says F this episode. I'm worse than Clobby on this one. I did give it an F also. I hear you. I have nothing. I want to converse about the consequences of terrorism, but the episode drags so much that when we finally get there, it falls as insincere. Indeed,
agree.
Jill.
I agree.
Absolutely, Jill. I'm with you. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myras, says, Clobby, this episode disappointed me very much. I give it a C-. Okay, Catman, thank you. Thank you for that. Our buddy Steven, as in Kal-El, says B+. This was a good episode filled with lots of intrigue and the normal developments of a murder mystery story. It was done well enough, in my opinion, that although this episode had little sci-fi in it, other than the setting, it served its purpose by revealing some of Kira's past as a resistance fighter and the consequences for these years later. All these years later. Kira's. Hang on, Cal. I have to find your next one real quick. assertion that all Cardassians, including the civilians, were complicit in the occupation of Bajor, just by being there, was unsurprising given her experiences during that period of time. This episode was just entertaining enough to watch, and definitely an interesting Kira-centric story, but not particularly compelling enough to be an episode that one must watch in the series.
Boss man, I need
yes.
to interject very briefly, and I do apologize. I beg your pardon,
problem.
but Captain Infinity and Beyond is here.
Captain Infinity and Beyond.
And
What's
he
up,
brought
buddy?
a glass of red wine with him, so he's ready to talk some smack.
Uh-oh. What happened now?
Oh, nothing. Just, like if you have a glass of red wine, you're like, oh, it's time to unwind. Let's talk some trash. Let's do it.
Shows how mature I am. I did not know that. I did not know that. Well, Captain Infinity, buddy, at least we don't have any time travel this week. So the time police can rest this week. At least not so far. I don't think we have any more. Anyway, Hungry Boy, hungry for an end to Miles kicking, says, or a bunch of F's.
That's good.
He basically says F this episode.
Yes,
Thank
right?
you, Hungry Boy. And also, the great Bronze Richard says F, man. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible, I would even say. Ace Castine will get that one.
Terribly.
Terrible. Ace Castine and I, we say that sometimes.
That's good, that's good.
It is terriblistic. Terriblanimo. It is terribluskishness. Terratastic. Terribletastic. It's terroristic. It's it's a pterostomy. Terrible ostomy. I don't know. Lisa says F. Kira needed an episode and she got this. Nothing more to add to this melodramatic drivel. If Charlie's Angels showed up, I'd give it an F+. No, I wish they'd showed up. Actually, I'd like to see the Charlie's Angels over this. I mean, Bosley would have had this thing worked out. I tell you that much. Okay. Michael Bacon. This is D-. When I read this was written by Brian Fuller, writer for Wonder Falls, Pushing Daisies, The Amazing Screw-On Head. I remember that. And I remember all those actually. Others. I did a double take. Then I found out he has written 56 episodes of The Filth. That's right. So yeah. You can't trust anyone who's written Filth, even if he has written. And again, he wrote this. This episode was kind of filth-ish. So there you go. Episodes of The Filth, and it made sense. Yeah. This felt like an episode of NCIS that got dusted off and rewritten. Page 410. They say it was supposed to be a variation on Agatha Christie's classic. Let's see, mystery.
Give me a break. Yuck.
Mystery 10
Boss
Little
man?
Indians. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you while you are talking. I tried to break in there before you started speaking. I apologize, but Triple M just walked through the door, boss, and he has a rating.
Oh my goodness!
And I started. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Masters Maniac Mexico.
Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well, hanging in there, buddy. Good to see you. Mystery 10 Little Indians, Agatha Christie's Mystery 10 Little Indians. I now expect to see Agatha rising from a grave like the mummy in Johnny Quest. Yes, we will meet again, Dr. Quest. Stalking Fuller to take her revenge. You can skip this episode and miss nothing. I know you got another one, Michael. What's that? That says.
And
no, he doesn't. That was 3 of 3. I'm sorry.
You know what's really weird? You know what's super, super weird?
What?
Is that Eric K., our trusted bronze wrencher, just said, Mark D with the C. I thought you were on an away mission. Boss, I cannot see Mark D with the C. I can't see him. Listening.
No, he might just be Mark D with the C is on a away mission, so he probably can't participate. He's got to be quiet, but he's probably out there somewhere. But hail to you if you're hearing this, buddy.
Yeah, and if you're in the chat and something funky is going on and you're getting vaporized, weird. Anyway,
no.
Mark D with the C. I hope you're having fun on your away mission. Give your wife a little kiss on the cheek for us. Weird. I can't see him. Weird.
Maybe he popped in earlier. Might have been earlier. Well, hopefully he's out there and having a good time tonight. Let's see here. Where were I? Okay. Pleasant Valley. Picker says F. A basic murder mystery. Kira's resistance friends being murdered is pretty predictable. Transporter horror not needed. Kira breaking into Odo's office. Okay. And stealing suspects' addresses is criminal. Then she steals a runabout on. Yeah, we know he saw it. On a mission of vengeance, endangering not only herself but Miles and Keiko's unborn child. Yeah, not good. Where did Kira's professionalism and discipline go to? Guess it vanished so the story could happen. Ridiculous. That's kind of often the case in a lot of TV shows, but yes. Solarian Prin wanting to cut Kira open to remove the baby was awful and grossed me out. Anyone remember Sharon Tate disturbing beyond words, horrible cringe? No, he did. Well, he did say he was trying not to kill. He wanted to kill her and not the baby, though.
Barf, scary barf.
But he was saying he was gonna take the baby out and save the baby. So it was still garbage episode. I'm just saying that's what he said. The Great Ace Cast Iron. It's good to see you back, buddy. He says NCC 1701 F.
Ace, I've missed you. It's so good to see you, Ace.
Glad you're here, bro. Fanty outside, he says, D, advice to Ileran. Get over it. You're alive. Well, not now. Should have just moved on. Also, Worf as a Starfleet grad knows many things. Huh? Maybe I probably forgot what he's talking about there because the episode I just kind of plucked it out.
He does a little quote there.
Okay. No, but I can't remember much from the episode other than just wanting it to end or maybe trying to end something else.
I see the point you're trying to make, boss.
C says J25. Well made, but not well written. Nice moments. Worf Dax, Lupaza, and Farrell. Yeah, because I like that actor that plays him. He's always cool and stuff. Not sure if there was a point. Retread over familiar ground. Kira the terrorist, meh, villain, yeah. Yep, yepperness. J.T. Kirk says, that's 5.5 out of 10. I haven't read the Erdman text on this, but it sure seems like a filler bottle episode. This sadly does nothing to advance Kira or any of the other characters central to season 5. We got some more. I can't see these here, but it looks like some shin kicks and clubbonis.
Everyone is calling for the clubboni, including Jilly. Hungry Boy just said that we need to recognize that this is a broken sewer main, and we need to send the clubboni in to clean it up. Let's clean up the stream.
Yeah. Thank you, Hungry Boy. Good suggestion.
I mean, it's just so good. I mean, I remember when I hated it, but now it's growing up. It's growing on me.
I love it. Mrs. Dadman Walking says, NR. I did not watch this episode, and the synopsis that was read does not make me want to watch it either. It's a fair call, but society is to blame. Shooter says, C. Who else thought that the opening with the monks was leading us into more magic from the previous episode before the explanation was given? I don't know. Weird. Was there an opening with monks?
There was.
Oh, really? I've missed that. I didn't miss it. I think I saw it. Just don't remember it. See, I watched it. Sometimes I start as early as Monday or Tuesday watching my episodes, And if I watch it on a Monday or Tuesday and it's this bad, I probably blotted out most of it. And I've seen it probably a few times before, but yeah, I just don't think, and I don't make notes because that's for people who were smart like you. I don't even bother. Notes. Last sport be writing this down. Another. Hey, I watched it, didn't I? I can't even remember what happened on that episode. Another murder mystery. It's enjoyable, but nothing and we haven't seen before. Why did Prin focus on Kira? Because she's cute, I guess. Was it a ploy to get Kira away from the station? Well, again, she is cute. I don't know. I'm just being silly. I don't know. Also, what took him so long to enact his Rwengi? Clearly, this has been weighing on him for a long time, and the tech he used was readily available on the black market. Well, I think he was waiting for a bottle episode that they could fit him in.
So annoying.
Wolfie.
That's bad.
Says rating C-. The Clobbering makes weird noises when it picks up bones from transporter accidents. Indeedishness.
Might have to hose the Clobbering off over this one.
Simply Steve says, sounds like I would have rated this a D for dumb. Kira's obvious baby pillow and forgetting she's still supposed to be carrying the O'Brien child in combat.
Yeah. It doesn't even take anyone to go and confront this person who has murdered all of these people who are in her resistance cell, who are like better fighters than she is. Like that redhead, I forget what that actress's name is. Man, she is hot. She's got to be Irish with those green eyes and that beautiful red hair, smoking hot. And, and these people are like, it's just dumb. Dumb.
Max Redstone says, F. OMG, this was needlessly dark. I cleaned uniforms. If this guy was that good at cleaning uniforms, would Garrick have known him? Yeah, good point. Classic Comics says, grade C+. Interesting note, there's a video on YouTube in which Nana Visitor is speaking in front of a class of some kind. In the video, she reveals that Paramount was getting Voyager up and running while she was pregnant, and she became convinced that she could play Janeway while simultaneously playing Kira. She even lobbied Rick Berman for the role, arguing that she could play both. Weird. That's strange. He rejected the ideas, of course. She admits the idea was nuts, and chalks it up to her hormones. Okay, well.
JT Kirk just described his beautiful wife. He says, Raquel, the missus, is Danish, Swedish, and Irish with red hair and blue eyes. She is smoking hot to me, even after a decade of marriage.
Lucky man.
That does not surprise me at all, JT Kirk. That does not surprise me at all.
Right. Lucky man. I tell. Well, nice, man. That's excellent. Yeah. So let's see here. Let me see what we got going on. What's next? We'll get sidetracked here. Okay. Matt. Let's see. Enigmatic Drop Bear, buddy. He says D+. I do love the idea of hunter probes. They have great potential. Too bad the script and art direction. And direction, not art direction. That's all the word art. And direction of this episode failed to effectively utilize them. Let's see here. Kira is sold to us as a decorated member of the Bajoran resistance, involved in numerous acts of subterfuge. Here she attempts to remain in the shadows by walking past a backlit window.
I laughed at that part, and I laugh at it every time I see it. It's like, step into the light so that you can be seen and shot.
It's great tension in Prin's scenes. They lifted in linguistic stylings and lighting from Silence of the Lambs' Buffalo Bill. This failed because the script did not keep him in character. Good pernt.
I believe that Simply Steve is making a really cool dad joke because Nana just had a baby. So he says, laughing out loud, no, Nana, no, because of the
Good.
baby. And I think that's funny. But when I was like in my family, we used tata. Does anybody else use tata instead
I
of
don't know that one.
no, or tata? Anyway, Simply
I don't
Steve, great joke, bud. Great.
Max Redstone says, addendum under the logic of this episode, in the season 1 episode duet, Kira would have pushed for Maritza's prosecution no matter what, even if he wasn't Gold Darheel. And they call him Scuba Peach. He's the king of the Ramba Beat. Says F freaking space clue. It was a uniform cleaner in the station with a bomb. Yes, indeed. And finally, our great friend Masters Maniac Mexico says inconceivable. D minus. Actually, he probably said
Inconceivable. 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 You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
yeah, inconceivable. Oh, thank you, MMM. I hope you are doing better, sir. Let's get rid of this episode and ditch it like the dirty laundry it is. How about that?
That is true. That is true. We need to do that. JT Kirk says that he uses no icky or 3, 2, 1, all done. Yeah. It's funny how in different cultures and different languages and different countries, how everyone has that baby, you have to put it down, speak. And it's all unique to regions and to cultures and languages. I love it. I love it.
Editiousness. Next episode, folks.
The Begotten.
Final of the evening. The Begotten. Go for it, number 1.
The Begotten is season 5, episode 12. This is prod code 511. And we all watched this for the very first time on January 27th, 1997. Now I'm going to be doing a cold read from wikipedia.org, which is a user-generated synopsis of this episode. Let's hope it's not rough, folks. Deep Space Nine's bartender Quark has come into possession of an infant changeling and sells it to Odo. Odo begins trying to teach his child to shapeshift. He is displeased when Dr. Mora, the Bajoran scientist who raised Odo, arrives to help. Dr. Mora and Odo immediately clash over how to best raise the changeling. Odo, still angry at the invasive methods Dr. Mora employed with him, hopes to reach the infant through encouragement. Mora insists on probing and measuring the creature, to Odo's disgust. Unfortunately, Odo makes little progress using his own methods. Under the pressure of Starfleet, Odo has no choice but to resort to Mora's methods. Dr. Mora's equipment, Odo employs electric shocks to prod the changeling into holding several basic forms. Both are amazed when the creature imitates the shape of Odo's face. The moment brings Odo and Mora together, especially when Mora admits to Odo that his caring seems to have helped him form a connection with the baby, quote unquote baby. Mora's support helps Odo to finally forgive Mora for treating him more as a specimen than as a person. Well, he's not a person. He invites Dr. Mora to celebrate their success with a glass of champagne, but the happy mood is shattered when Odo receives word that the little creature is dying. Well, you just said it was a human. Dr. Bashir is unable to save the child. Odo holds the dying creature in his hands, and as it dies, the infant changeling merges into Odo and restores his shape-shifting abilities. Meanwhile, Major Kira goes into labor and gives birth as a surrogate mother to Keiko and Miles O'Brien. After having a baby and bickering of Shakar and Miles beforehand, to the point where they are nearly kicked out of seeing her give birth. Yeah, because Miles wants to see her hoo-hoo. At the end of the episode, Kira tells Odo about her feelings of loss after turning over the baby to his parents. Odo tells her
Oh,
he knows how she feels, and the two go for a walk together.
You're killing me. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ, you're killing me. Go ahead.
Boss,
What?
what do you think of the Begotten?
You made me. Now it's my favorite episode of all time. After you read that. Oh Jesus. Oh. Well, I really like the character stuff with Odo and you know the Odo Dr. Mora bit of the episode. The A plot I enjoy.
Excellent.
It's really great, lovely, wonderful character stuff. The other crap. Okay, you have an A story and you have an F story.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's not a
what's
B
happening
story.
here.
That's an F story. And
You know what's insane is that you and
Mhm.
I never talk about these episodes beforehand, and yet we always come out the same on the other end. It's scary to me. Like, I have people in my life who call you my Star Trek soulmate. You are definitely my Star Trek soulmate. I 1000% agree with you, Captain. Please continue.
It's asinine. You get to every time it shifts back to the battling O'Briens and their bullshit. I mean, I guess the one bright line goes, that's over now at least. But it's like, oh God, no, who can? Because I really love the character of O'Brien. To see him have to have this garbage.
It's bad. Did we lose you, boss? Or did you lose me? Uh-oh. 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 Is everything okay, everyone? Everybody? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, JT Kirk, because I was starting to get really super scared there. Where's Clobby? Okay, everybody, I'm actually kind of scared. I'm going to message him right now. Thank God I have his telephone number. I'm super scared right now. I hope he just unplugged something. Oh my God. Clobby, answer your phone. Clobby? Oh, he's dropped out. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's here. He's here.
I don't even know how that happened. The internet choked off, I guess.
Oh, I'm so glad you're okay. I love you.
I don't know where you lost me at, but that's weird because it didn't. I looked and modem didn't even seem like it went off.
Yeah. I love this. Security to the captain's quarters on the double. I love this. It's sweet.
It's weird. I didn't lose any power. It doesn't look like the thing went off. But you guys are all hearing us now?
Yeah.
How long when did you lose me?
You were laughing and then you were about to start to give her, and that's a Canadian saying. You were going to give her and just lay down the law about this episode. And so I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Captain, tell me.
Oh, crap. You hear me now, though? Because you're kind of going in and out.
Yeah.
All right. It could be maybe my computer. I don't know. So if it cuts out on me, just hang in there and run the show, and I'll get back if I can. But
okay, boss.
I don't know what I did and didn't say to everyone, but I just think this episode, it just sucks that it's got a half good and half garbaggio. So that's all. Very simple. Just go ahead and so you've done notes, right? Did you do notes yet?
I did. I did do notes. I'll do them right now, boss.
No, I'm saying, okay, so you have not done the notes yet.
No, I wouldn't move on without you,
notes.
honey. I was actually scared because I couldn't find you, and it was freaking me out.
So
okay,
sorry.
I texted you. Sorry about that.
Okay. No, I didn't see it. Good.
Science fiction tale about how to communicate with non-corporeal life forms, the nature of scientific experimentation. It is so beautiful and wonderful to finally have some science fiction. Mark D with the C is here. He just said it wasn't my fault. Listen, Mark D with the C,
Yes,
it's
it was.
always your fault. It's in your contract.
Your fault. Your fault. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a good time out there.
Yeah, and I love the pictures you sent today. Keep the pictures coming, Mark. Yeah, so science fiction tale about how to communicate with non-corporeal life forms and the nature of scientific experimentation. I absolutely love this. We finally have science fiction again. Miles smacks the pan, and we know that he loves Kira. Barf. We explore Dr. Mora as a father, and it's quite beautiful. Miles acts resentful to Shakar and openly shows jealousy in front of Keiko. It is so creepy and cringy. Dr. Mora pronounces Kardashians as Kardashians. As Kardashians. Dr. Mora uses a Christian proverb, spare the rod and spoil the child. So here we have a Bajoran now, a Bajoran doctor using a Christian proverb. And of course, because I went to Christian school, private Christian school, I've been in Christian school pretty much my entire grade school life. I know that this is Proverbs 13:24. Spare the rod and spoil the child. So once again, we have another one of these cases where we shouldn't have Dr. Mora quoting the Christian Bible. It's beautiful, but why not come up with something like take spare the rod and spoil the child and have the illusion, like use the opportunity as illusion, but tweak it in a way in which it seems Bajoran. Not only will the viewers think you're clever, but they'll be able to stay immersed in the story. For me, when I hear Proverbs 13:24, I don't feel like Dr. Mora is actually Dr. Mora. I love Dr. Mora. He is marvelously Star Trek. He is 100% Star Trek. Dr. Mora is an exemplification of real Star Trek. I love the fact that he says that he was wrong. I love to see him behaving like a dad. This is TOS. The way Dr. Mora, this storyline that's happening here is TOS. And then I wrote in yelling all caps, glorious, because it is glorious.
Yes.
And then we have more sicko shite with Miles and Shakar now competing for Kira in front of Kira. Miles just needed to see her naughty bits. He could not help himself. He had to get in line to see her hoo-hoo. He couldn't just stand there and hold her hand or, be a part of the birthing process. No, he had to get a bird's eye view of the hoo-hoo. Then we have a baby born with no umbilical cord, but it has a belly button. This is dumb. This should be science fiction. Why is this happening in this story? So how is the baby eating? How is the baby breathing? And it's important for people not to do a whole bunch of weirdo Star Trek fan gymnastics, mental and emotional gymnastics, to say, well, it could be because Bajorans don't have placentas. No, you can't say that, because in the last episode, she had a placental tear that Miles had to repair. So there's a placenta there. There's a belly button there. Why isn't there an umbilical cord? This is and then at the very end, unfortunately, we have a very, very, very dodgy transformation. So we start to think to ourselves, changelings can make humans into changelings by absorption. This is problematic because when other I can't say because of ED. I can't say because of ED. I'll ruin it. I'll spoil it for him. But I'm just going to say this. It is not true that through contact, changelings can absorb and change other matter into changelings. We learn that later on. That's proved later on. And I can't say why, because I'll ruin it for Edie. And I'm not ruining it for Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Wasn't there an earlier episode, a couple episodes ago, where they mentioned that he still has some changeling in his chemistry in his brain or something?
He has changing telepathy or some crap like that, and Julian
Hey, Matt G.
said it was residue.
Okay,
I mean,
but that they should have said so. They should have said that was it. You know.
Right, and then once again we get into the nature of what a changeling is. So can a changeling take a human being and simply through entering their body, turn them into a changeling? That's going to be extremely problematic down the road. And I cannot say on air right now why, but if you watch this, if you watch Star Trek every year like I do, or you've watched this episode or this whole iteration of Star Trek before, you know what's coming. You know what's coming, and you know that it's impossible, because that would kill like 10 stories coming up. By touching a changeling, the changeling cannot turn a human being into a changeling.
Well, I was thinking, if this is it, they should have said so. The one, remember the episode last week where we reviewed where there was some revisional, there was some revisional, residual morphogenic enzymes.
Yeah.
Fine, but they should say so.
It's just dumb. That's what it is. It's dumb.
Well, I'm willing to accept it just because I'm glad it's a changeling again. But I hear you. But I like that part of the Odo and Dr. Morrow part of the episode is really good for me anyway. I like it.
It is.
It's just a shame that they wasted it.
Yeah, and just include like one sentence, like this changeling, like have Dr. Morrow take a reading of this changeling and say, this changeling is slightly different. There seems to be some difference in its composition. And then you start to think to yourself, oh, this is a different kind of changeling. Maybe this changeling has been sent to Odo to restore him as a changeling. Like, all it takes is one sentence. Respect your audience. Don't write dumb crap.
Well, by the way, the thing about that is this was just 2 episodes ago where they talked about their excuse for the whole that dumb episode, Things Past. Was the residue and that whole connection to the changelings that he still had part of in his mind, or in his brain or whatever. Fine, you can't 2 episodes later connect. At least make it clear why he got changed back.
Because it's crap writing.
It's not like it was 50 episodes ago.
It's crap writing. And what's worse is that the A storyline is so Gene Roddenberry. It's so TOS. We finally get to connect again with science fiction, and juicy, cool science fiction, where we're like dealing with how we would react as human beings if we encountered a non-corporeal life form, which science fiction is supposed to do. It's supposed to help us massage our anxieties about that extraterrestrial encounter that we don't know how to handle. It's not just catharsis. It's also us exploring how we might deal with that. It's futurism, technology. You know what I mean? Like, so we're finally back here with the science fiction, and then we get this juicy cherry, maraschino cherry with a little stem on it, right inside of the chocolate, a cherry ice cream with the nature of scientific experimentation. What is the nature of it? How far is too far? What is good science and what becomes abuse? These are some juicy things that we should be discussing. And instead, we're worried about Shakar and O'Brien arguing over whether or not O'Brien gets to see Kira's hoo-hoo. And then we have Insta Changeling at the end. So it's really upsetting, because the first part of the whole episode is like an A+, and then the second part of the whole episode and the entire B plot is an F. So
yeah, almost need a double rating. So anyway, what is your rating of The Begotten?
Well, I gave The Begotten a B-, but the thing is that I deducted all of the grading from the shite. But the thing is that it should be an A+. If we just would have stayed with Dr. Morrow and this beautiful scientist saying, I was wrong. We could have used another methodology. And and all of this science, like I was in heaven. It was orgasmic. It was perfect. Why did we mess it up? Why did we roll around in poo? Why? Look, it's supposed to be an A+, but I can only give it a B-, and they're lucky I didn't give it an F.
I think I did the same thing. I just kind of blot out that other crap, and I gave it a B- also. Okay, so I'm shocked that we gave it the same thing when it really, because it really as a whole deserves like a D or an F. But there's too much good stuff, so I guess I could just enjoy the good stuff. And every time they get back to the battling O'Brien's BS, I can sit there and just look at my phone, look at weather reports. Post to Twitter saying, hey, what the hell, Twitter? At least it ain't P hard. Anyway, so my friends, we have now given our ratings. The greatest rating ever. I will ask you, my friends. I think I don't know, call me crazy, but I think Raquel is trying to say this. So while Raquel is capturing your reviews of The Begotten, I shall bring us some Max Redstone Entertainment. Okay. The Begotten by Maximum Redstone. Odo buys a changeling in a sack, and though he thinks Dr. Mora is a quack, he sees that Mora is not so bad. It's DS9, My Two Dads, mixed with how the constable got his groove back. Wow. Spectacular stuff. Big hand for the great Max Redstone. Well done, Mackie. Well done, buddy. All righty. Let's see here. JT Kirk says, TNG Disaster was better. You may now give birth. Nana just had a baby. In real life, I expected better acting from her. Miles and Kira need to remarry already. Keiko and Ducat would do well together. Okay. Would they? Hunger Boy says, Pew diapers. Well, yeah. Can't argue with that. The wonderful anti-derivative Jill says, our communications officer says, A-. I enjoy the exploration into Odo's unintended parenthood and his issues with Mora. How the baby is absorbed to change him back will forever be a mystery. Glad this is the end of the foot rubs. Oh my goodness, you're so right, Jill. I'm with you.
That moment where he's like, that's not how you do it. You do it like this. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is so cringy.
I hate it so much.
This is so
I
want to gouge my own eyes out with a melon baller. Do you know what I mean?
I hate it.
Burn my eyes out of my head.
I'm totally with you.
Bleach my brain.
Bad.
Bleach my brain.
B- says Pleasant Valley Picker. Probably the closest to sci-fi tonight. Daddy Odo is amusing. I really liked that they further explored the Odo Dr. Mora relationship. Odo's bitterness towards Dr. Mora is understandable. Even though Dr. Mora is just trying to offer his knowledge and help. As the episode progresses, Mora explains to Odo he had a job to do. He had to do understand the new life form and meant well.
I can't even handle it. Like, I have to mute. Wolfie just put in the chat. I could smell her foot through the screen.
Wow.
It's so gross and so funny. I can't even deal. I'm sorry, boss. I gotta hit mute. I'm laughing. Okay. I'm crying laughing.
Go ahead.
Wolfie,
take a break while Take a break while I get these. You're good. Shame on you, Wolfie. Odo becoming a changeling again questionable. The dying baby transforming him is not explained. Basically, a plot device to transform Odo back. Yeah, I hear you. I can understand what you mean there. Pleasant Valley. Let's see here. PvP. B story was minor, mostly played for laughs. Miles trying to bang the gong correctly was hilarious, though. Agree, Miles wanting to watch. It was creepy. Champagne moment was nice. Okay. The Great Ace Cast Iron, buddy. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here, bro. He says, NCC 1701. C. Red Lady statue notwithstanding. Hey, thank you, buddy.
Oh, some of these are so good.
The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers, says, Clobby, I give it a B-. Alrighty. Max Redstone says, B+. This is a truly touching episode where Odo and Dr. Morrow take the journey and finally reconciles with his father by having to walk a mile in his shoes. Yes, sorry about that, Max. The story is so beautiful, I don't really feel such a need for an explanation of how the little changeling would transform a human back into a changeling. But Odo as a falcon was glorious. You know, the whole them changing him back to me doesn't bother me either. I think it's fine that he had. I just believe it's something residual in him that made it happen, or you know, I don't know. It doesn't. I'm glad he's a changeling again, but I hear you. I do understand.
Just give me one line.
Oh no, it should be explained. I don't disagree there. Dr. Bashir could have said, "Oh well, apparently your blah 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 did this and blah 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 that," and there you go.
Never heard you do that before. Can you do that again?
Yes. Let's see. I ran a scan of your skin, and it appears that your sublime has mixed with your and you turned you into a and there you are. I explained it in my Dr. British accent, so I didn't have to anything. Yeah,
oh, God, I can't even handle it. It's just too funny.
However, the fatal flaw. I'm sorry. However, the fatal flaw of the infant changeling being irradiated would not be a stretch for those to cause the ability to bring Odo such a gift. Oh yeah, Miles is a perv and the baby is born. Indeedishness. I'm just saying. Let's see. Where were I? Oh, all right. Hang on. Then they call him Scuba Pizza's D-. Sung as David Bowie. Changelings. Well, it turned into Odo's face under strain. Changelings. We learned Miles is a pervy man. Dang you.
Stand up and take a bow, Scuba Pete. You won the internet this evening. Scuba Pete. Folks, Scuba Pete, I'm announcing it now, has won the internet.
Well done, sir. More Wolfie says rating A/F. Amazing story about Odo, Dr. Morrow, and the young changeling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed, sir. Simply Steve says, oops. What the wrong stupid mouse? Maybe give it a C+. Odo, the incredible absorber, he's the absorbing man. He's Crusher Creel. Gets his changeling abilities restored. Really? The begotten should be the forgotten. The birthing ep, as well as Oh Baby O'Brien, Oh Miles, Oh Kira. Oh, Miles. I can't do it. I hear you, sir.
It's okay. Oh, Wolfie, that doesn't mind.
Wolfie had a second one. I'm sorry, Wolfie. The only thing that would have made the birth story more awkward is if a changeling tentacle popped out of Kira's hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Actually, that would have made it better. That would have made it the greatest episode of all time. Oh, man. Shooter says, Hey,
is the boss dropping out again? Yeah. Okay, good. I was freaking out. It's okay. He might have to log out and log back in. No audio for Clobby. He just dropped again. Thanks, D-Bud. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Retro. Thanks, JT. Okay, good. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we can just shoot the breeze until the boss gets back. Or maybe he told me he wanted me to continue with the show. So I'll just continue with the show. So Shooter says, are you back, Club? Oh, no, he's logging out. Oh, he just messaged me, I think. I think he's coming out. He says this Shooter says A-, 1 of 4. This one is an interesting Odo episode. Even as a solid, Odo is alone. Finding the infant changeling provides Odo that connection he hasn't found with any other person. Oh boy, it's been a long time since I did this, so let's see if I do this right. And 2 of 4. Odo gains an understanding. Hey, boss.
Internet's, we're going to try to get this done fast, folks. So my internet, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it, but anyway, continue.
Odo gains an understanding of the pressure Dr. Morrow was under when he faces similar demands from Starfleet, which lessens Odo's hostility to Dr. Morrow.
Oh, there you go.
3 of 4. While the return of Odo's abilities is welcome, the method is questionable. How would the infant changeling even know how to reverse what the founders did? Yeah, we need a line or two, don't we, Shooter?
Yes.
4 of 4. And, Shooter is one of those sci-fi guys. The B story is required in so much as to pop the baby out of Kira. But other than that, it is boring. And he put a strawberry, but I think he means raspberry. So I'll do it for you right now, Shooter.
There are no raspberries. I don't think there are any raspberry things in there, so everybody's using strawberries.
Okay, boss. If you go to the start column, you should be able to just pick up where you left off.
I'm there. So where are we at now? That was the end of Shooters there?
That was the end of Shooters.
Okay.
Boss.
Sorry, everybody, about that. My internet, I don't know. We'll see. But number one, be known. If it does it again, just keep going with the...
I will, boss.
Read the reviews if you would. And I'll get back in as soon as possible. Michael Bingham C. I hate baby episodes. They classically indicate when a show has jumped the shark. But this one is safe. Watching James Sloyan and Rene Auberge-Noir treating a jar of goo as if it were alive. Yes, great stuff. It was so good, that part. This should be shown in acting classes as they make you believe they've got a baby changeling in a cup through sheer performance alone. Never was a beaker of Murphy's oil soap 415 so loved. Page 415. Wow. Well said, buddy.
That's something cool to remember for your Star Trek trivia, because that is in-text citation from a vetted text of original source material. So the baby changeling was made of Murphy's oil soap, folks. Very cool bit of trivia.
Absolutely. Lisa says D+. D+, not fond of this one. Finally, this storyline is over. Miles, Keiko, and Kira can now disperse. Odo and Dr. Mora helped. Thank you so much, Lisa. I hear you. Captain Infinity, you old rascal. I've never watched a single episode of DS9, and these streams are helping confirm I made the right choice, says the great Captain Infinity and beyond. Well, I hear you, buddy. I still like the show, but we are critical, that's for sure. But a lot of people do love it, and it's, a lot of people swear by it still. Close up of Kira's. Really want me to say that?
What?
Simply Steve, you starred. Close up of Kira's.
Oh yes, that's funny. That's good. I like that. That's
yeah.
Sorry,
it's not a review though, but I don't know if I want to put that on the marquee.
Well, you don't have to. I just thought it was funny. Sorry.
No,
he said coochie. You know,
but
from that crazy lady, coochie, coochie goo.
It means, yeah, but it's, well, Eric K says, B, Odo, Dr. Mora, great. Love the relationship and the understanding they have now. The rest is awful. Cheers to Kira, the only eligible Bajoran lady. She is something.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Enigmatic Drop Bear says, C. Quark continues to be a character with with a problematic moral code, as various writers have him dance between lovable rogue, unsung hero, and outright criminal. Likewise, Odo dances between uncompromising lawman, willful ignorance, and vigilante. Here we have Odo letting Quark get away with child trafficking because it suited him to do so. But this, I don't think Quark had any idea that was any kind of a being. But maybe he thought it was a dead changeling or something, didn't he? Oh dear. Clearly, you still there, number one?
Yes, I am, boss.
I'm paranoid
I'm
about whether I'm. No, that's fine. I'm just paranoid now because.
I'll jump in if you drop out.
No, we're good. We're good. So far, we're good. Oh dear. Clearly, the showrunners wrote themselves into a corner, realizing that Odo was a bad idea, so needed to come up with a way to restore him as a changeling. Of course, I figured they also saved a few bucks on the episodes when he was solid. The two few scenes where we witnessed Odo attempting to communicate and mentor his infant kinsman, along with his collaboration and reconciliation with Dr. Mora, were excellent. I'm with you right there on
Boss man,
the same page.
Our ballerina has to call it a night. She did.
I got
leave.
a review.
Excellent. So everyone, please say goodnight to our
Katie.
marvelous ballerina, Katie.
Katie, good to see you there. Good
Night, honey.
Thank you so much, my dear. Have a wonderful night. Let's see here. Katie says, okay, episode. Not one of my favorites, although I appreciated they gave Kira a tasteful way of having Keiko's baby, given Kira was not in a relationship with anyone at the time. I enjoy Happy Odo B-/C. I hear you. Thank you so much, Katie. Stephen M. The Great Kal-El Super Wrench says B-. This was a very good episode, which reveals more about the founders and, in particular, why they would send out their defenseless young to an unknown fate. It was interesting to see the differences between Odo and Dr. Mora's approach to eliciting a reaction from the changeling infant. And it was also great to see the two men come to a new understanding and appreciation for one another based on their shared experience with the infant by the episode's end. The B plot with Kira finally giving birth to the O'Brien's baby, while necessary for the resolution of that ongoing story, wasn't that interesting, in my opinion. However, it did provide one thing for Kira that I'm sure Miles wishes he had, an opportunity to escape from Keiko, although the... Oh, was there another one? He's got a fifth one. I don't see that one.
I will go and have a look for it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see the fifth one there, Steve. Kal-El, did that one get torched maybe?
I don't know.
If you have a fifth one there, Cal,
I'm going to look for it right now, boss.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, I mean, I don't think I nuked it.
No, I don't think I nuked it either.
Hey, Zacharot's here.
Hey, Zacharot.
Good to see you, sir.
Here it is. Oh, got it. Maybe it just got unstarred. The chat's jumped a couple of times. I may have accidentally
unstarred it. Yeah. Sorry about that, Kal-El. Here we go. He says, method for the return of Odo's shape-shifting abilities was awfully convenient for the sake of the overall series plot. This episode did a good job overall with the story it was trying to tell. There you go. And we have a final review of the night by the great chief engineer, and I hope you're having a good time, buddy. He says C+. This episode was misbegotten in too many ways, which negates a lot of the good. Who thought that Odo merging with a changeling baby was a good logical idea? I don't know. I guess the writers. Maybe Rogue. This is Tuvix level disturbing. P.S. Yep. The Romulan ale is really good in Nashville. Yeah, there you go, bro diddly. Good. Well, look, we got through another one, folks. We got through another 4 episodes. We're inching close toward Well,
We're getting there.
getting there. I don't know how far we're off from the season or anything, but next week we'll have 4 more, of course, and there will be next week's episodes, of course, will be For the Uniform, In Purgatory's Shadow, by Inferno's Light, and Dr. Bashir, I presume. So, where you go? That's what we got on tap for next week. And I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. What do you think? Number one, those are some they were some episodes, weren't they?
They were fun.
They were definitely episodes.
Some of the reviews were really funny.
Oh boy, what a week! Ugh. Oh boy, and so that's what we had this week, and man, I'm glad we got through them. I don't even know.
I still think that Steve's coochie coochie coo joke was funny because it's like 2 levels of coochie coochie coo.
Having
so funny.
You know that's a reference to.
Yes, I do, but like that's what you also do to a baby. Coochie coochie coo.
Coochie woochie coochie coo, Captain.
Yeah, almost peed my pants laughing at that. Thanks a lot, yes. Steve.
Mrs. Buckner, you can consult the linguistic banks. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Let's see where we are here. Okay. After okay. So next week we have episode 13, 14, 15, and 16. So yeah, we're about still got a good chunk of season to go because there are 26 episodes in season 5. So we got a lot of season 5 left ahead of us.
We do.
Yeah, so that's cool. Long way to go. We're gonna be living on Deep Space Nine for a while, folks.
We are.
Long time.
Simply Steve says, happy to help, Raquel. You're very naughty and I love you. I cried laughing. I had to mute my microphone. And Michael Beacom says, I'm not sure I can make it through Voyager. Never watched it. Not sure what source material there is. Michael Beacom, I will hunt you down another book and you will love this next book as much as this book. I promise. And we're going to have great fun. And even if
I'm wondering
convinced by Voyager, we're going to have great conversations about Star Trek. I promise.
I'm wondering who's going to want to ride along on the Voyager trip with us. I remember back when Voyager first came on. It was similar to the way I treated Deep Space Nine. I'm an original series guy. When I was pretty excited to see a new show based on the same universe. So I was excited about the Next Generation in 1987, and I watched it for years. But I bitched about it for years too. I criticized it. It was never going to be in the same class with the original series with me, and of course it never was. But I had that bias going. But I watched it, and then about maybe after season 5 or 6 of TNG, I kind of checked out a little. And back when DS9 came on, I was kind of like, I was not a fan of that universe particularly. I was just a fan of the original series. I mean, I didn't hate TNG or really like it that much, but I watched the first couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine, and then the same deal, V'gers we used to call it. I watched like the first couple of episodes of V'ger, and I was like, eh. I didn't watch those for years. Yes.
You just dropped off again.
You don't hear me?
Just for a second, the last part of your sentence dropped off. Boss? Oh no, we lost the boss again. Folks, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do shoutouts. Just wait for the boss to come back. I think we've lost Clobby. Mark D with a C, no spoilers. No spoilers. And the boss has the list of everyone who showed up tonight. Commander Raquel, time to take the con. Yes, except for the fact that Clobby always takes down the list of the people who are here. And I will miss a whole bunch of names and I'll feel like a big jerk. Oop. Oh, look at how big my face is. Face is entirely too large here. The boss is saying, hang in there, Raquel. I will be right there. I'm just rebooting. Thank goodness I have my phone with me. Quark needs to raise Clobby's transmitter up the mountain. Mark D with a C. Here's the boss. Here's the boss.
All right, folks. I'm not trusting this internet anymore. I'm almost just I'm now I'm too mad I can't see straight. And this is pissing me off that we've had a just not well, but I start going into it, I'll start yelling and getting pissed and talking again, and it'll do it again on me. So we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna start moving out of here now. So let's see. Quick show notes. First of all, Raquel, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, I just want to say thank you
quick.
to everyone for your marvelous conversation. I love you all very much. Hysterical, thought-provoking, wonderful conversation tonight. I love you all very much. If you like science fiction, classic science fiction, please buy my book at Amazon.com or Amazon.ca. It's Science Fiction Tales by R.M. Briggs. And I just want to say thank you to all the wrenches, and I want to say thank you to the boss. Boss, thank you for creating this space for us to assemble as the 735 Club. And I'll make it super short like that because I don't want to lose you again, and I'm going to be quiet now.
Thank you, D-Bud. By the way, I did close out the poll. Now I got to find it because I closed it out. Now I can't even find it. Where'd it go?
Thank you, Michael.
Where'd it go? I closed the damn thing out and it's not even showing up.
Oh, no. Do you want me to go have a look? I'm going to press mute.
It's too close
I'll
now,
go and
probably.
have a look.
If you can find it. What the
Boss.
I ended the poll and I can't find it. All right, everybody. Let's see here. Well, Nicole's looking for it. You see it, Raquel?
I'm going to go look for it. You start saying goodbye to everyone before we lose you again, and I'll go and see if I can see the poll. I'll be right back, boss.
Snail Messiah, hello there. Good to see you. Let's see here. Crap. All right. Everyone, thank you so much. Show notes quickly. I'll be Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. We'll have the big Superman bash. And so, thank you, Eric K. Eric K, let's see. Which uniforms do you prefer was the question. The previous uniforms, or the new gray uniforms that they just put in. Let's see, out of 45 votes, it was 73% like the previous uniforms and 26% like the gray ones. I don't know why it's not showing up on my my chat.
I just want to shout out to D-Bud Martin, who was super fast, to Jilly, to JT Kirk, to Eric K, to Kal-El, to Mark D with the C. Thank you, everyone, for putting up those poll results and so quickly. I love you all so much. Quick draw, McGraws. You guys are great.
Oh, yeah, see, yeah, Dell did it, yeah. So I guess if I'm reading it right, because it's tough to see, tough to tell, that means... I guess it means the previous ones won over the gray ones. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks everybody for that. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Superman Bash Monday night, 9 p.m. Central. No geekery on Mark's channel this week, but it'll be there. It'll be there the week after when he comes back, of course. What else? All right. Let me do the, let's just do the shout of the goodbyes, and then hopefully it'll allow us to get these done. Because while it's allowing me to do it, I'll keep doing it. And the thing is, even when it's killed on me tonight, it's come back on a few minutes later. So, all right, everyone, thank you for being here tonight. We've got, of course, our great wrenches. I want to shout you out all you do for us. The great Eric K, the great Chris Persia, the great D-Bud Martin, and the great Lord Thoth, and the great J-Man, and the great Hungry Boy, and the great Kal-El, and the great Matty Zaddy, and the great Phantom Outsider. And, of course, let's say hi to the pupper dog. And anyway, because I had my pictures there. All right. Our wonderful, first of all, shout out to the great Mark D with a C, because we're popping in, even though I was out on a road trip. And good to see you. Are you still there, number one?
Yes, I am, boss.
I'm paranoid because I don't know what I'm off or not.
So that you can burn through it. If you drop off again, I promise I'll take the helm. Just go ahead and burn through it, boss, before we lose you again.
No, I got you. I just wanted to be sure because I never know what I'm on or not. Okay. And of course, our crew members, the great Mark D with a C, Jill, thank you so much for being here. Jill, thank you for being here. Let's see here. Dave G Sound, thank you for being here. Sean Carter, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Sandra Feliciano and Raymond Feliciano, thank you for being here. Whether you're here or not, you get the shout out. That's the way it works. Classic Comics, thank you, CC. Dadman and the Dadman Clan, thank you so much. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Brian Hepburn, the Comic Relief Crusader, happy birthday, buddy. Let's see here. Mr. Angel, thank you, Chef. Pleasant Valley Picker, thank you. Enigmatic Drop Bear, thank you so much, ED. Shooter, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Wolfie, Lisa, lovely Lisa, thank you so much. Rod Thunderheart, Hungry Boy. Oh, well, shouted you out twice because you're worth it. Let's see. Simply Steve 68, Bandit, MD 11, thank you. Let's see here. Michael, wonderful Michael Beacom and Cassandra team. Thank you so much. The great Rob Altus, my fantastic friend, the great Ace Cast Iron. Bro, always great to see you, buddy. Our new friend, Jerry Lahane. Thank you, Jerry. Good to see you here. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Shout out, by the way, to Terrell72. I didn't see you pop in if you did, but if not, if you listen to this later, shout out. Thank you so much. And of course, thank you for anyone listening on a download or a repeat. And thank you, anyone listening on out there lurking or whatever. We really appreciate all of you. Herc130, thank you so much. Admiral Teague, thank you. Scuba Pete, thank you so much, buddy. Guagnar, the Catman ADD Myers. Max, thanks, Max Redstone. Thank you for all that, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Great job. The wonderful Retro Nerd Girl. John Shaggy Lupus. Let's see here. Rupus, sorry. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. Sathras. My handwriting's terrible. Blunt Philly Reviews. Boosh McFadden. Let's see here. The Orville Nation. Thank you so much, PJ. Daniels Hot Tropics. Let's see. Stuart Mitchell. J25. Every now and then, number one, pop in to make sure I'm being, that I'm still on.
I got your back, boss.
Okay, gotcha. Grim, thank you. Let's see. The Tarak Apathy. I'm sorry if I'm saying that. The Tarak Apathy. I'm sorry about that if I'm saying that wrong. It's I wrote it down poorly because I was writing too fast. Victor Fontaine, my wonderful, lovely friend 6. Katie, love you, Katie Dax. JT Kirk, thank you, buddy. Apollomies Minion, love you. Captain Infinity and beyond. Of course, Masters Maniac Mexico MMM, Matt G, Sakarat, and Snail Messiah. That's everybody. Wanted to get you all in there. And look, the great Drunk 3PO popped in there, lurking. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm honored to see you. It was an honor for you to holler at me on your great show tonight. Of course, you all know who he is. You all probably subscribe to him. If you don't, what are you doing with your life? It is an honor, sir. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan and really admire what you do. And he has a book out there, too. Please go to his channel and find out the information on his new book. And thank you so much, sir. Everyone, my internet's holding out. I think so. Every day I have to check. Thank you. It's just going to be incredible. Like I said, I hope I'll see you Monday night for the big Superman celebration. Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. And looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. And this has been great fun. Great time. And we're going to have 4 more episodes next week. Hey, your old toys. What's up, buddy? Up late? You're up late, young man. Good to see you. Let's see here. Gonna play you out with this end message and these end credits. Just want to thank my wonderful first officer.
I love you.
Love you. And sorry I had to rush through it, folks, because the internet might crash on me again at any moment. You know how that goes. Usually it holds pretty solid.
The captain goes down with the ship, so we got to get out of here.
But yes, fantastic, everyone. Please have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. Remember to trek on and clobber on, my clobberers and clobberanimos. Good night, everybody. Take care and live long and perspire. Shout out to the lovely Sherry. Good to see you, my dear. Enjoy these end credits, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.
Agonizer, please.
Scotty, as good as your word.
Aye, sir. The more they overthink the plumbing, the easier it is to stop up the drain.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
Yeah, this thing's going crazy. I'll be tonight.
I just love clobbering time.